The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
Damn, man, I forgot to go to the bathroom.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, I'm holding on to it a little bit, too.
I knew I was forgetting something. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Tuesday morning, don't you know? It ain't right, but it happens. Tuesday morning. See Willie Miles, an old friend of the program, a world-class entertainer. He's going to swing by later on, right, Cubby?
He'll be here. He's good for more chuckles than we deserve on a Tuesday, that's for sure. I love hearing from him. I love when he says he's available, and so he said he's coming in today.
Yeah, see Willie, a pimp. He's a cold-blooded pimp. We're looking forward to seeing him around 7:30. A Christmas Story, Josh. You've been watching it every night?
No, I can't say I'm burned out on it, but I don't. Like, I would want, like, TNT or TBS, whatever, would run it 24 hours a day. I'd stay up 24 hours a day. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, for sure, A Christmas Story.
You said there was a time where you'd stay up?
Well, I'm being sarcastic, but I would watch it over and over. Like, if I was turning on the TV, that's where I'd go.
Oh, I kind of have it on in the background?
Yeah, kind of like maybe today I'll have a Netflix with the fireplace on my TV, just kind of in the background. It's on. It's festive.
Oh, I love that.
It's kind of the same with A Christmas Story. I have a leg lamp. I bought that as an impulse purchase.
That's cool.
When I had the DVD for a while, and
so it's
one of
not...
the extra features was, hey, there's this guy that makes these leg lamps that are very similar to the movie, so I thought, well, I need to buy that immediately.
I remember when you bought
it later.
So the obsession isn't quite the same as it was a number of years ago?
Oh, I still love it.
You do?
But I don't make a point of watching it like I used to.
I remember when you bought the leg lamp, you were very excited.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, actually.
Super fans know this stuff. Well, what about the rest of yous now? A Christmas Story, I thought it was cute the first time I saw it, and I never really had... it didn't really draw me in to where I needed to use it every Christmas.
I'm really burnt out on it.
I've seen it a couple times, and I'll watch it if it's on, but I don't make a point to watch it at all.
I do kind of like that they still continue to play it 24 hours on Christmas Day. I think that's kind of a cool tradition.
It's silly.
Cool. It's insane.
Super fans know this stuff, but for those of you who aren't obsessed, okay, check this out. Jack Nicholson almost landed the gig of playing Ralphie's dad in the movie.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't get it, because Ralphie's dad was so good, and I think he wanted twice the money they paid Ralphie's dad.
That's what I read.
He's great.
Jack Nicholson was offered the role, but casting him would have meant doubling the film's budget just to pay Jack Nicholson.
It's not worth it.
So they had second thoughts about that. Yeah, what's it say here? The actor's name who played Ralphie's dad, he likely isn't still around. He went by the name of Darren McGavin.
That would have been weird.
I agree, actually. I like that they kind of just had an everyman type person rather than a big star play the dad.
Yeah, it would have took something away from the story, pun intended, but
it definitely would. Right? Was it intended? Because
that would have been weird.
It would have been weird because you have a big star like that, you think, well, that's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, the whole time.
I'm sure Jack Nicholson would have been wonderful, but in my limited exposure to the film, I thought the cat, Darren McGavin, who played Ralphie's dad, was absolutely perfect in the role. Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie, the little kid. Again, super fans know this stuff. For the rest of us who don't know, Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie, He's a behind-the-scenes guy in Hollywood, and he has been for many, many years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was in Elf, right? Mm-hmm. And he played one of the elves in Elf.
Movie.
And then he's like a part of the MCU, insert like as a producer or something for like Iron Man and things like that. So
Right.
He was even the dad in Billy Madison.
The dad in Billy Madison. I can't connect the dots.
Peter
there.
Billingsley was?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Darren McFadden. My bad.
Darren McFadden. You're talking about Darren McGavin,
Yes,
the
yes,
dad
yes,
from
yes.
We got there. We got there, everybody.
Peter Billingsley. Josh, as Josh was saying, he was an executive producer on one of the Iron Man movies, made a cameo in that. He'll make a cameo now and again. It says here he's BFFs with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. He's worked a lot with those friggin' guys. And this and that. Peter Billingsley. Ralphie. Now, what would he be? Mid-50s?
Something in that neighborhood.
Probably around my
Born
age.
in 71.
Oh, then yeah, he'd be my age. Exactly my age. Ralphie, the character, says he wants a Red Ryder BB gun how many times in the movie? Go.
28.
28 is the correct answer.
Whoa.
The house is now in the motion picture that Ralphie and his family live in is now a museum. You can go visit the damn joint. It's in Cleveland, Ohio. It was sold on eBay.
I didn't know you could sell houses on
Yeah,
eBay.
me either. But that's cool that they made it into a museum.
Is that where you and your boyfriend bought your house there in Coon Rapids? Actually, you buy it on eBay?
Yeah.
The house in the movie was sold on eBay in the year 2000 plus 4 for $150,000. Now it's a museum. I saw a photo this morning of a line of dorks going down the street so they can walk through Ralphie's dumb house from A Christmas Story.
Oh, I'd like
be
to.
really
Yeah,
cool.
it would. That'd be
love
awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They have some props from the film, Josh, including Randy, the little brother. You can see his snowsuit.
Oh,
He couldn't even move around with that snowsuit on. He's on his back like a turtle.
Yeah, I'd go see that. I know the guy or maybe it was a group of guys, I can't remember, who bought it. They put a lot of time into trying to make it look, the inside look like the movie. And,
I'll take you there someday.
Let's go. That'd
We'll
be
go
awesome.
there. We're gonna
It
go.
looks adorable.
We're gonna go to Cleveland, you and I, and I'll take you on me. I'll take you to Ralphie's house from A Christmas Story.
Maybe we could hang out with Jameis Winston or something like that. Get some ribs. Or no. What is he?
Crab legs.
Crab legs. Yes, we could get some crab legs.
Oh,
Be a very Merry Christmas. You,
That
Nick,
would be-
James Winston, the Christmas Story house, and some crab legs.
The guy that shoplifted crab legs by putting them down his pants.
I remember that.
We could talk about LASIK. That'd be fun.
This is my favorite little piece of information surrounding the movie A Christmas Story. The movie got made thanks to another movie called Porky's.
I never saw Porky's.
What?
Just parts of it.
Yeah, I
I've
saw it
never
on
even heard
TV,
of
like
it.
the censored version,
Yeah,
so I
that-
don't think I got the full effect.
Like you, Dana, it was just parts of it on TV.
And you call yourself an American. Haven't even seen Porky. So, a guy by the name of Bob Clark directed both movies. He directed Porky's in 1982. He directed A Christmas Story the following year. Thanks to Porky's putting a little extra cash in his pocket, he was able to make A Christmas Story. Had Porky's been a bomb, maybe it never would have happened. And two things here now that Josh knows firsthand. One he already mentioned. You can buy your own leg lamp.
There's various versions of it, too.
We have a
You could
little
get-
nightlight version of it in the kitchen.
Yeah, I was going to mention, right, you could get the nightlight up to, like, the one that looks just like from the movie.
How authentic is your replica leg lamp? Does that question even make sense?
They looked, if you put it side by side, because I looked at it on the screen compared to what I got, they are a little different. But, I mean, if you just saw it, you would think it's the same.
Close enough.
You would know.
Okay, so yeah, you already told
And
us.
I did rub my hand up the leg just like Ralphie did in the movie.
Oh, I bet you did.
Of course.
The leg lamp, any schmuck can go out and buy a leg lamp. Oh, and something else Josh can tell you firsthand. You really can get your tongue stuck to cold metal.
Only time I ever missed any school was when I ripped off the top of my tongue, and
Oh, dude,
ouch.
ouch.
I had a half day that day.
Were you dared?
No, I just didn't believe it could happen.
Oh.
I get it.
I didn't think it could happen in real life. And my parents told me, and I was defiant. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I tried to hide it from my mom, but the gushing of blood from my skin being ripped off the top of my tongue, that was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
F me running. I bet that stung like a sumbitch.
Oh, it hurt.
yeah.
The panic was worse as a first grader or whatever I was.
Probably didn't have any salty foods for a while there.
I remember having, like, my mom wrapped a bandage around, like an ace bandage around my tongue, and it looked ridiculous.
The next day at lunch, you didn't have any salsa Rio Doritos or anything.
I go to school. You guys wouldn't believe what happened to me.
All right, now this is a Christmas story fact that again, super fans know this. I even knew this. Scott Schwartz, who played a character in the movie called Flick, didn't land many gigs beyond A Christmas Story, and I want to say maybe he was also in a Richard Pryor movie around the same time period, early 80s. The Toy, I believe Scott Schwartz was one of the main characters in an old Richard Pryor movie called The Toy. So things weren't going that well for him in the 80s. By the 90s, he was working in porno movies. Oh. Did you not know that?
No, I did not know that fun fact.
Oh, yeah. I saw a couple of his porno movies.
Did you really?
Terrible.
One of them could just be called Flick. You know, it's just like a flick of the tongue or something like that.
Yeah, look up maybe some of the titles that he was involved in, Josh, because they were awful. It was just uncomfortable to watch altogether. Some of you younger folks might not remember a massive television program in the 80s into the early 90s called The Wonder Years.
Oh, love that show.
Starring Frederick Savage, and his girlfriend was very cute. The Wonder Years.
Oh, Winnie Cooper, Danica McKellar, Be Still My Heart.
She was very pretty.
Still is.
I'm sorry?
Still is.
Oh, I haven't seen her. Is she in something?
Yeah, she does a lot of the Hallmark Christmas movies lately.
Ah, that's why.
She's gone that route.
Hot Frosty?
She was not in Hot Frosty, although I did watch that.
Josh, have you met my friggin' wife? A year now it's been.
Yes, I've met her many times. We text each other.
You two text?
Yes.
The other night she watched a movie called Hot Frosty.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So bad.
That sucks.
It's bad?
Oh, but in a great way.
It's crazy how popular are those. Is it kind of ironic or
I don't
sarcastic
really-
that people
Yeah,
watch?
you watch it for the
seems like
cheese.
it. I don't know, Josh, at this point. Some of them seem like they're very serious. Some
No.
of them don't. It's really confusing.
Is it like a Sharknado?
Yes.
They're addictive.
Yes, everything you're saying is accurate, Josh, and I've learned this from the friggin' wife. She loves those intentionally terrible Christmas movies from, is it the Hallmark Channel? Is that the channel?
Yeah, those are good.
Hot Frosty. That's the latest. Oh, and then the other night she was watching some new movie. It might have been a Christmas movie with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, I watched that as well.
That one was terrible.
I stuck around for a little bit of that. What was that one called, Ashley?
Oh my gosh, I just watched it yesterday.
When I walked into the room and the friggin' wife was watching it, I stuck around for a little bit because that Lindsay Lohan, she gets my fly, Josh, going up and down like a window shade.
Oh,
Yeah,
she looks incredible. Oh, it's
know you
called
like it.
Our Little Secret. It's on Netflix.
I
if
got
you
a
wanna watch
secret
it.
for her. I'd like to tell her my secret. All right, what was I saying? The
Wonder Years. I love the Wonder Years. I had
Yeah.
to look it up to remember
Me
what
too.
it was, and I love it.
That was partially inspired by A Christmas Story.
Oh.
I don't have any further details, but I think maybe the whole idea of a little kid, the narration, everything that goes on in A Christmas Story, you see similarities in the Wonder Years where he's talking about, my dad was a drunk, and then
Peter Billingsley was in the Wonder Years towards the end.
he was. There are several sequels to A Christmas Story, and wasn't one just recently, and Josh, you thought it was terrible?
Not terrible. It just wasn't, it can't match the original, which I expected. I think it was called A Christmas Story Christmas.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Never seen it.
If you like the Hallmark movies, you guys, you'd like it.
Oh, perfect.
Hot Frosty is available on the Hallmark Channel. Listeners are telling me it's the Hallmark Channel, and it's damn near every night you can see Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty, just if people don't know, the premise is a snowman comes to life as a real hot dude.
Yeah, played by Peter Billingsley.
All coming full circle now.
All right, if I have Scott Schwartz's porno titles here correctly, I'm scared to click on the link, so I'm just reading the description under the link. He's got one called Hits Like Bedhead, Blonde Legends, and Scotty's X-Rated Adventure.
That's the one I remember, Scotty's X-Rated Adventure. He worked with some ladies that, I'm very envious of Scotty, but he looked wildly out of place and uncomfortable, and the whole experience was uncomfortable. I mean, I've seen some porno movies in my day, and that was one of them. That's all I can say. That was one of them.
I have no interest in seeing him have sex.
I'm with you on that one.
That's creepy.
Most people I don't want to see have sex.
All right. I mentioned that C. Willie Miles is going to stop by. Coming up at 7 a.m., an hour from now, we'll tell you about the latest big fat-ass concert coming into town. And it's not AC/DC.
We already talked about that one.
We didn't really get a chance to make a big deal out of AC/DC. There were some communication problems in the building, but that's not where we're going with this. We got another big stinking concert. We'll tell you about it in an hour. But, okay, so whatever. We didn't get to make a big deal out of AC/DC. We still got tickets to throw at you. Why don't we go ahead with this? Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text BELLS, BELLS. Text BELLS to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to 93X Presents AC/DC with the Pretty Reckless. That's coming up in April. To be specific, Thursday, April 10th at the new Metrodome. Some folks call it U.S. Bank Stadium. Tickets are on sale this Friday at noon. You can head over to our website, what we call 93x.com, and click the concert link. They'll tell you all about it over there. This prize is courtesy of Jam Productions. Boy, they've been around forever.
Heck yeah. My wife is a Jam Productions fan. They've produced a lot of stuff that she's into.
What do you mean?
Jam Productions, isn't that Jimmy Jam? Or is that not the case?
Oh, I thought that's not the case.
Oh, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jam Productions is just the concert promoter that I've been hearing in town.
Yeah, I thought Jimmy Jam was behind that.
You could be right. I thought they were separate things. I thought there was
Could be.
Yeah, and speaking of child actors, the Pretty Reckless is Taylor Momsen.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. She played Cindy Yoo Hoo in. Go ahead. What's the movie?
Cindy Lou Who.
Lulu.
The Cringe.
Yeah.
I loved that movie too, and she was so good in that.
She was very good.
She was in Gossip Girl too, and that was my show when I was growing up. Absolutely loved that.
I didn't see Gossip Girl, but she was so good in that movie that we got to interview her right when Pretty Reckless first came to be a thing. She came in studio even. And we had asked her about that, and you could tell by the look in her face she was tired of talking about. I was surprised because that is there's plenty of people that watch that every year, and everyone talks about how good she was. She made that. I mean, Jim Carrey obviously was awesome, but she made that movie.
I am tired of that fact, and I am not that gal.
Yeah, since then. Right, but that was, however many years ago. At the time when she came out, when people found out, they were just floored that it was the same one.
It's one of those where you see it coming, you feel it coming anytime. What's her name again? Taylor Momsen?
Yeah.
Whenever you hear her name brought, somebody's going to, it had to be Wapple.
Yep.
Somebody's going to bring up the Grinch thing.
Yep.
It's like a thing.
She was great.
Oh, she was. So again, the word is bells. 651-989-9393 for your chance to win tickets to AC/DC and the Pretty Reckless.
I'm checking texts here. Not one person has got the keyword correct.
Why is that a problem?
I think it's a bit here on the show where people text like balls and funny stuff outside.
Well, balls would work too for AC/DC, I guess. But this time around, it's bells. One of the greatest riffs in rock history, Hell's Bells. The intro to that song. That album's been out since 1980. What is that, 40-some years? Someone help me out. I can't do 45 years?
Yeah, 44 years.
44 years ago. And still, I get a chill up my spine every time when I hear the intro to Hell's Bells. There's a lot of AC/DC songs that do that to me. So that ought to be pretty riotous there in April when those spellers come to town.
Still not one correct keyword. Come on, somebody's got to win this thing.
Really? Honestly, no one can spell bells.
Well, I think it's a bit, like I said. Or voice to text. Bells. B-E-L-L-S.
Yeah, there's a couple of L's in there. And all right, there you go. We ought to get going for real this morning. Looking forward to C. Willi Miles' visit. And before C. Willi even gets here, again, there is another concert announcement that you might want to pay attention to at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and pay attention to that keyword if you want to win.
Yeah.
Send in the right one. That's how you win.
It's going to be a factor in winning or losing these tickets.
Still nobody is going to do it.
I love how someone put a Z on the end of it.
This is hilarious.
I mean,
I love this bit. I got to be honest. It's so good.
I get the bit, and I also enjoy it. I do. But nobody wants tickets to the show? This is AC/DC, for Christ's sake. This likely will be their last go-around. And probably by April, Josh, what will be the going price for an AC/DC ticket?
Well, it's already in the 3 figures, you know? So who knows by then? All right, so now people are saying they did spell it right, but they're not coming into it. We better get this figured out.
They're spelling it right, but what?
A couple of people saying they did, but I'm looking back at the text and they're not.
When we said a keyword, we don't see the text message pop up because otherwise we would see, a bunch of them.
Why didn't you chime in on that sooner? It used to
I thought you were doing a bit. I thought you were just joking around. No, yeah. So when the keyword
now
is
people
set
are
up,
freaking out, dude. You got to bring that up.
we don't see those text messages. They're coming in and we get them internally, but we don't see them during the show, so it doesn't clog up our feed.
All right, you got to bring that up next time.
I thought you were doing a bit.
No.
Now I understand. What you're saying is the correct spellings of keywords go one way. Mm-hmm. The misspellings go the other way.
Correct.
Oh, so we only see the mistakes.
Yes.
Well, because we've seen positive, or maybe they must have changed that. Cause
occasionally they don't have it set up. Somebody must have not clicked the right thing. So we occasionally see them, but 9 times out of 10, the keyword just goes right into the contest thing where promotions can pick the winner that way.
That's fascinating to me.
And it doesn't clog up our text line more than it already is.
Do you have any other information that we should have brought up?
I thought
you should have told us weeks ago. Or?
This is the first time. How long you been on this program?
3.5 years.
This is the first time where you have shown yourself to be the guy that knows something. You know what I mean? Normally, you're not the guy who knows something.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing a bit. I was trying to tell people, hey, if you want to win, you got to text in the correct one. Yeah, you got to throw that out there, homie.
And Dana, I'm kidding.
I know
you often know things.
You're very knowledgeable.
So we get
you just keep it to yourself.
You got to get going. You're a terrific crowd.
Sorry for any panic, everyone. This is news to me.
Yeah, if you spelled bells correctly, you're in the running. If you didn't, you're not.
Send the correct one.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked, to be honest. I thought this would be a bigger deal.
Especially such a simple word.
Yeah. How many times have you and I off air gone, well, I guess nobody cares about that concert?
Right.
Because sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't.
I was doing that for the night show when I give away tickets. I'm like, man, no one's won tickets from me.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder, too, nobody's listening to this show.
Yep.
Double dildos. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving money with EasyPass. Free transponders plus lower tolls make EasyPass the perfect holiday gift. Visit driveeasymd.com to get yours today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
You know, it's a damn shame. There ain't nothing sacred anymore, Cubby.
You can make that argument about a few things for sure.
We're just animals now. Nothing but animals. Like feral cats living in an abandoned house in your neighborhood. Just waiting to pounce and yank an artery out of your thigh and watch you bleed out.
I know an officer who had to respond to a house where they were concerned about animal abuse, like, you know, a hoarder of cats.
Oh, yeah?
And he said when he got out of his squad car, they could smell the cat pee. There were so many cats in there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yum.
And that cat pee, that is such a pleasant aroma, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
I told you before, I used to know a gal who lived in not the nicest neighborhood, not by a long shot. And across the street from her house was an abandoned house, just choked with feral cats. And all the windows had been blasted out and everything, right? And it was just the funniest thing. I'd pull up to this gal's place, get out the car, and as soon as I shut my driver's side door, if you were looking at that abandoned house, about 86 cat heads would boop, pop up in the windows. And they'd look at me as if they were saying, "You looking for trouble, pal?" No.
Just challenging you to come to the door.
Yeah, I'm going over here. I'm going other side of the street, boys.
I dare you.
But that's what we've become now. Animals. Can't even go to a Christmas parade anymore without something cutting loose. At a Christmas effing parade up there in Canada, a 62-year-old lady punched a fellow parade goer right in the yap for blocking her view of the festivities.
I remember back in the day, you know, the day when people respected their elders, and maybe I just answered my own question, but you look to people like that, this is how you behave. You look to older people to see how to behave, and that's changed quite a bit.
Right. It's an all-ages thing now.
Yeah, everyone, you don't expect that. Like you could, back in the day, you could hear a story of something like this, and you could probably guess the age. Well, that's a 17-year-old that did that.
Exactly
and
right.
A 62-year-old probably straightened him out.
Not anymore.
Nope.
It's an all-ages event. Wetting your pants and violently striking out at people or verbally striking out at people. It's an all-ages gimmick. 62-year-old lady punched a fellow parade goer because that fellow parade goer was blocking her view of the parade. Now, this 62-year-old gal had her whole family there with her. So her kids and possibly her grandkids got to watch her punch someone right in the oral sex giver.
I've never heard that used like that.
And then they got to watch her be arrested and all of that. That's nice, right?
Merry Christmas. Woohoo.
And it was as simple as it sounds. The stupid idiot lady was trying to watch the parade go on by. Some fellow broad-shouldered, barrel-assed Canadian had the balls to get in her line of sight and she punched the poor bastard right in the damn word maker. She knocked the guy smooth down onto his ass. I'm not sure if he was injured or not. Well, once the Canadian cops rolled up, they took old lady McSorley over there into custody without further violence. Effing Canadians. They're starting to act more like Americans every day.
Well, they've always looked up to us despite being above us.
They have.
Geographically. Oh, I was going to ask you a question, and now I forgot.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, I'll get it somewhere. Oh, has anyone here been to the Holidazzle Parade?
Which one is that?
Well, that's the only one I know of, like the downtown Minneapolis deal.
Oh, for sure. Back in the day, I don't think they do it anymore, do they? They just kind of have like that winter village.
Oh, I thought I just got an email on it yesterday. Maybe it's called something different now. But yeah,
Josh, my answer is yes. That's where the corporate radio rules we win a moment happened.
It was from that?
That was a Holidazzle parade from around 1900, and I'm going to go with 95 or 6.
It always looks cool, and I don't remember seeing stories of people misbehaving or those that should know better punching fellow parade watchers.
Yeah, it looks like it's still going on, December 18th through the 22nd.
Yeah, I thought it was still a thing.
I don't remember much about it except for that moment where we shouted, corporate radio rules, we win. And if you know the story, hopefully you're smiling a little bit. If you don't, I'll tell it some other time.
Those are some dedicated folks. You know, they'll put a lawn chair out there when
I don't get it.
Below zero.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You know, shoveling your way to find a spot.
Just to watch a couple of radio station vans go by, and maybe a couple of floats with the Santa Claus, and I don't get it.
I don't know. Unless you got like a buddy heater out there, that may be fun.
What's
Make a day of it.
What's a buddy heater?
It's like a little portable heater.
I figured it was
use
a
them
heater.
for ice fishing.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
This here next stupid news jibber jabber was written by someone out there in England. So if I struggle, it's because I don't understand much of what they're trying to say over there. But I'm going to go ahead anyway. What I can understand here is that a thief was caught over that way, England, partially because the self-centered bastard didn't like the mugshot the cops were showing around town.
It's funny how that is with certain people. I know this has happened before.
Something else I think that's a relatively new development, wouldn't you say, Josh? We were just discussing how quick-triggered and violent and self-centered and delusional we've all become. Also, my damn, are we vain now?
Yeah, I mean, your online image is very important to some people.
Right. I mean, look at pictures of our parents. They never once cared about at least mine. When I see old pictures, I wonder, did they own a mirror? You know what I mean?
Or just like when you look at pictures of you wonder, why would they let me look like that and then take a picture of it? Unless it's a bit.
Now we all, probably because of social media, right, like you said, Josh, now we all, oh, God, we're so concerned about our appearance.
I've only taken one good picture in my entire life. Well, and good is a strong word, but one non-stupid picture, and that's because I didn't know someone was taking my picture.
Yeah, we looked good.
Yeah, it was you and me. It was you and I together.
So again, a thief was caught in England because he didn't like the mugshot cops were showing around town. He complained about how bad he looked in the mugshot the cops showed online. He complained to the cops.
Yeah, you know, cops are like, oh, sorry, we made you a criminal look bad.
Right.
Send us a fresh one.
He said he was hungover in that picture. That's not my best shot. I was hungover, he said. So he sent the cops a new picture, and soon after that, he got pinched.
I don't think it was bad. I'd be proud if I looked like that in a photo.
Here's the thing. For me, Dinkus, the guy who got caught, isn't terribly good looking in general. By the way, he goes by the name of George Whitaker. He's 43 years old. I expected that he would be unbelievably good looking to be so picky about his appearance, but he's far from anything extraordinary. He just looks like your average scrawny Englishman.
Yeah.
They're all so scrawny over there. I think it's because the food sucks so bad.
He looked a little more bulked up in the photo that he would have preferred.
Most definitely.
And, you know, he got to show off his tattoos, his shirt's wide open.
That's pretty cool. This is these photos are up on 93x.com.
You got the one that he didn't like, and you got the one that he liked.
Yep.
He does look different.
Okay.
But in the second picture, the one he chose, he looks more douchey.
I didn't see the second one.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. He looks like he thinks he's like a Navy SEAL or something.
Yeah, exactly. The guy probably wouldn't have the courage to even enlist. But you're right. He does kind of look like he's trying to be a hero here.
Yeah.
Would you agree with this, Josh? Our dogs and cats eat better here in America than the richest Englishmen because their traditional food is just straight up garbage.
Well, it's funny you say that because my brother-in-law lived there for many years, and my sister moved over there for a brief amount of time to be with him. And some of the food they'd tell me about, I thought I'd rather eat dog food.
It's awful.
I'll take dog food over mushy peas any day.
Oh, gross.
Or what's the, is it shepherd's pie?
Yeah,
with
shepherd's
guts
pie.
in there? Or is that the right one?
Sounds right to me. George Whittaker, again, is this effing guy's name. He was accused of stealing millions of dollars of this and that. It's all very confusing in English. It doesn't really matter. He was a thief on the run. But that's the whole story. He was on the run. He saw his mugshot online. He didn't like it. He looked too hungover. He bitched about it. He sent the cops a new pic, and then he got. And I don't know if it was the new picture that helped the cops locate him. I don't know. George Whittaker. Josh, one of his aliases while he was on the loose. You got to have an alias when you're on the run. You got to have multiple aliases these days, I would imagine, when you're on the run. One of his aliases, George Blackbeard.
And he does have a black beard, obviously dyed.
You like that one?
So bad.
In the photo he sent, yeah.
Like in TV shows or movies when they think of the name last minute. He just sees a mirror and it's like, Blackbeard. Okay, yep.
George Blackbeard.
What an idiot.
People are texting in traditional English foods. Jellied eels.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. Yuck.
When I was in Ireland, the food was garbage. Garbage.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Oh, God, it was terrible. And then you know what I did? I gutted it out for a couple of nights. And then I said to myself, look, I can't do this 3 nights in a row. There was, in this tiny little awful, freezing cold, desolate, stupid town that we were staying in England, there was a fast food joint. And it was kind of an imitation McDonald's.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
There you go.
So I thought, I'm not going to these restaurants tonight because the food sucks. I'm going to hit this very American-looking fast food joint. Even their fast food was ass.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
The whole plane ride home, I was just on that toilet. I was on that airplane toilet.
So people are telling me that we're wrong on shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie is amazing.
Well, why do you say that?
It went by too fast. I didn't get a chance to jump in.
I was asking, is that the one with guts in it? And all you said, yeah,
I was
that's
like,
the one.
I don't think that's
whatever.
the one. Yeah, they have fish and chips. That'll
work.
I could use that.
Bangers and mash. I hear about that all the time.
I've heard that one.
Oh.
They also have baked
Heard of
beans
that.
for breakfast, which I find kind of off-putting.
Oh, I'll eat baked beans any time of day.
Really? Okay.
They have this thing. Maybe this is what you were thinking of, Josh. It's called black pudding. So it's like blood sausage.
Oh,
That could be it. I thought they had like a pot pie with guts in it.
It's terrible.
And now
hope
people
not.
are saying I'm thinking of haggis, which, okay, that's not British.
Yes, haggis, right.
Oh,
And Fun Size She's has just text in about blood pudding, saying it's not pudding, it's blood sausage. Why is it named pudding?
I don't get it either.
All right, I hate to bring this up, but I feel as if you're better off knowing. And knowing is half the battle. I believe that was the slogan on the old G.I. Joe cartoon show back years ago, wasn't it, Josh?
Love
knowing
that
is,
show, yeah.
Right.
And they're right.
And this has nothing to do with G.I. Joe or any old cartoon show. I'm rambling because I'm uncomfortable telling you what happened. I'll just have to go ahead and say it. Some dude splooged on the cupcakes. And he upped and splooged on just about everything else he was selling over at a Safeway supermarket in a place called Colorado. This is pretty bad, so brace yourselves. This dude is a sick pervert. He's been to court and all that, and he's going away for a long time. He was working over at that Safeway supermarket I was telling you about, and he was whacking off on every damn thing. He liked to take videos of his whack-offs, too, so that was about all the cops needed to put him away. A lot of the items he was splashing on ended up at little kids' birthday parties and whatnot.
I was afraid you were going to go that route once. Oh, God.
They should just cut it off, right, Josh?
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it.
This guy can't be helped.
They got to cut it off.
If you're jerking off on food, hoping that kids eat it, that's it. You're done. You can't come back from that.
Nope, no second chance.
I think even other perverts are going, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah.
You're giving us perverts a bad name.
Yeah, exactly.
At the next pervert meetup, they're going to sit him down, and someone is simply going to look into his eyes and say, bro.
Yeah, like, hey, listen, I'm not necessarily innocent. I've done some things,
Right.
but there is a line here.
There is a line. All right, I'll give you more of the rundown here, because it's pretty bad. Stephen Masalta is the sick derelict's name. He's 32. Not that matters anymore. He doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't belong anymore.
Yeah, you lost your we got to take your card away.
Yeah, you're not a citizen anymore.
Yeah, you can't be a citizen.
No.
You're going to have to go someplace where they serve nothing but gut pot pie. That's it. Just some terrible, terrible stuff.
Even when he wasn't at work, he was repeatedly jagging off outside of coffee shops and such. So you and your coworker swing by to have a cup of coffee, you look out the front window, and there's this guy tearing at it.
Perfect.
But it was his at-work masturbating that caused all this noise. He was molesting himself and touching his penis onto donuts at the grocery store.
Anyone here play ring toss on their wiener with a donut?
No, but I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
See how many donuts you can get on that thing?
Have you, Josh?
No, I haven't. I bet I couldn't do 2 donuts.
Isn't the old joke that's how they make donut holes?
I've never heard that before.
Boink.
Oh, my gosh.
Onion rings, yes. Donuts, no. Okay. Strawberries were a favorite target of this guy. Cupcakes.
You know who'd be safe? Tom Brady. He doesn't eat strawberries. He'd be safe. He wouldn't eat any of that covered strawberry. What's it called?
Strawberry splooge?
Yeah,
It's
he would.
interesting that you know that he doesn't eat strawberries.
Well, that's a pretty well-known fact.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets made fun of a lot.
This guy would also masturbate into large buckets of frosting.
Oh,
That is so gross.
No, why? Why does he have so much to go around?
That's a good question. Maybe he's maybe
Well, you know what? You make more. It's spread out all
No,
at
but
once.
like, oh my gosh, dude.
well,
Lots
he's
of
32.
Gatorade.
He's still young. He's 32. Like I said, grown folks and even kids ate these items,
Ugh.
obviously unaware of what Dinkus had been doing with them. Sick Steven, the grocery store whack-off guy. They didn't know what he was doing to these items before they bought them, and then they ate it. It says here, at the time of his arrest, this Masalta character, he was already known as a sex offender years ago. He went ahead and installed hidden cameras in the ladies' toilet at a church.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been locked up a long time ago, obviously.
And he masturbated all over the church, too. He did.
Sure.
People were slipping on their way out.
Oh, no.
The body of Christ, the blood of Christ, the
Dear
scourge
Father,
of Christ.
Dear Father, forgive me for I have sinned. I just masturbated in the church 5 minutes ago.
Well, we've mentioned it before. I've witnessed 2 men masturbate here in this building. 2.
It's
2
not
guys
right.
over the years. It's been a long time, luckily. I guess that's what happens when you fire everyone in the building. Less people to catch masturbating.
I'm so sorry, Josh.
I'm going to surprise you one morning, just for old time's sake, Josh.
You know what, Dana? With you, I wouldn't even be bothered. Carry on, my friend. Is there anything I can do to help?
Happy whacking, my
Yeah.
friend.
All right, so let's try this one out now as we continue on with today's Stupid News Report. Try and wrap your little noggin around this mystery. A gal who became pregnant while in jail on murder charges gave birth to a baby. Are you following it so far?
Yep.
Gal becomes pregnant while in jail on murder charges. She had her baby. She did a couple months ago. The baby's daddy is a fellow inmate at the same prison, also accused of murder. So these are real cutie pies here.
That kid will be fine.
Two negatives make a positive, right?
Maybe that's the case.
I also have I have zero concerns about this child. This child is going to be
I did not think of that.
Well, you know
is
what?
going to be a how do you call it, Josh? An outstanding citizen.
I hope so.
It's possible that the child is adopted by a wonderful family who wants nothing more than to have a child of their own, and he or she's raised to be a productive member of society.
I'll tell you where the child ended up here in a minute. All right, so lady gets pregnant in jail. Baby daddy is locked up in the same jail. They're both in there for murder. Now, here's where the mystery cuts loose on you. Mom says she got pregnant. She got knocked up, even though she and the dad have never met in person and have never had any physical contact with each other at all. She goes by the name of Daisy Link. His name is, strangely enough, Joan DePaz. They're both in custody, again, on murder. They've both been in custody since at least 22, but somehow this past June, Link gave birth to a daughter fathered by DePaz. So here's the explanation, apparently. Mom said that she and Dad were able to speak to each other through the air conditioner vent in her cell. They started passing notes and pictures. That's hot stuff right there. And a romantic relationship began between the two of them. The dad, DePaz, said he eventually told her, look, I want to have a baby. But he said, I might not have an opportunity for quite a long time. Yeah, you're in jail for murder. So they agreed to try and have a baby together. Isn't it fascinating how some folks are wired, just by the way? It is to me.
Yeah.
It is to me. Dude's locked up, likely for the rest of his life for murder. And he says to the fellow lady inmate, you know, I might not get a chance at having a baby. You might not get a chance to have a... So this is how they did it. They used bedding to make a line between their two cells. They snaked this bedding through the air vent and connected their two cells in that way. And then DePaz, the dad, would whack it and then she would slide down that sheet, you know, the sheet connecting their two cells. He would slide semen rolled in saran wrap to her cell.
Okay, rolled in saran wrap.
Saran wrap.
That helps.
How does that help?
Because I don't think it stays alive very long after it comes in contact with, like, the world.
It is kind of crazy that this worked. I'm sorry to paint the image of my seed, but when my wife and I were trying to conceive and went through, insemination and in vitro and all that stuff, they were very protective of what I produced. I mean, there was like a lot of things that they said, okay, once this happens, and I'm sorry for this image. Once this happens, you got to get it here quick. I won't go into all the details, but there were a lot of steps that needed to be done to make sure everything was okay.
Like Ashley said, those little bastards, they don't survive unless you got to keep it warm. That's why I always I like a hot sidewalk.
Smart.
Keeps them.
She must be insanely fertile too.
So they passed it through the sheets, rolled in saran wrap. She said he would kind of roll it up almost like a cigarette.
Oh.
And then
oh no, I smoked it! Yuck!
And then he'd slide it down the vent, down the sheet. She said, from there, I would, She said, what I would do at that point. She used a yeast infection applicator, whatever that is. And she administered it, is the word she used. She administered it.
Oh, that makes me want to vomit.
And she became knocked up that way, Cubby.
So
it's a miracle. That's a miracle right there, isn't it?
It's a terrible miracle.
It's a terrible miracle.
What's the opposite word for something that's like a miracle, but it's bad?
I don't know that word.
Is it still miracle?
No.
Kid's going to have one hell of an icebreaker story on a first date someday.
This kid is not going to have a first date, Dana.
You mean court date?
Yeah. But that's an interesting question. What is the word for a miracle that's also a tragedy? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's it's not because when somebody says miracle, it's usually good.
Right.
Miracle on ice. Good for us, I guess bad for the Russians, but what do you say?
Don't know. I don't know that word, but I love that you've asked the question and maybe at one point
somebody knows.
Yeah, someone knows the word for a miracle that's also a tragedy. So you were wondering about the baby. Now, it was born in June. What is it now? December? This baby's a handful of months old now. And it was born in prison. And now it lives with the dude's mother, who I'm sure greatly appreciates that.
Fantastic.
Oh,
she did do a fantastic job the first time around.
Thank you. I'm now in charge of raising a child for the next 20 years, just what I wanted to deal with when one of my children is in prison for murder. That's what I needed to do, raise a baby that you just plop down in front of me. Now it's my problem. Appreciate that.
That is so stressful. What in the world?
Yeah.
I can see this happening to my mom.
You know what? I guess I could see that happen to your mom, too.
So you're saying one of her children have a baby out of nowhere and then just say, the baby is now your problem?
Yep.
And they're in jail.
Yep, and they're in jail.
Oh, I know a dude. Well, I know a dude who knows a dude. He's got to be dead by now. He's obviously a much older guy. He had children very young, and his children had children very young. And unfortunately, a lot of his children were not responsible people. And then just said, here you go, Dad. Oh. I made a baby, but I don't have any money and I don't have a place to live, so here you go. And then another one of his kids did that. Yeah, I'm kind of a stiff and I don't have any direction in life, but I had a baby. Here you go, Dad.
What's one more?
And the dude at one point or another, what's one more? At one point or another, he still had some of his grown kids in the house. He had their kids in the house. It was everyone, an age range between 6 months old and 45 years old, living under his roof. All he ever wanted to do was just live his life.
Poor guy.
And at one point or another, I wasn't there for it, but I guess the guy snapped and said, he was like 80 years old at the time. He said, 70 years. Well, that wouldn't make sense. 65 years and nothing but kids. He destroyed the whole house. He just went nuts. Can you blame him? He snapped.
No, not at all.
He was yelling at his older kids saying, you're 45. You should have been out of here 27 years ago, and now I'm taking care of your kid.
Was it similar to the scene in Malcolm in the Middle where Hal, the dad, finds out that Lois, the wife, is pregnant again?
Oh.
One of the greatest scenes in television history.
That was so funny.
Why?
Oh, my damn.
He's so great.
One of the greatest scenes in television history. I thought we looked it up at one point or another on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Hal?
Yep.
Hal is told by his wife, we're pregnant. He keeps his composure. Oh, that's great. Even though they already got 3 grown kids, he thinks he's done with that misery. That's great, honey. I love you so much. Yay, another baby. He goes out to the family car, closes himself in the family car, doesn't he, Josh?
Yep.
And screams bloody murder. Scream crying like a child. But the best part of the scene is then the camera cuts to Malcolm, one of his children, he doesn't know, is in the car. He is in the car with him. And the facial expression that Malcolm makes, I will remember until the day that I die.
That was so good.
He's horrified by the sounds his father is making and does not know why he's making those noises. Thank you for bringing that up, Josh, because that, other than your advice. That was what turned me on to the television show Malcolm at the Middle.
That show was so good. So good. On the topic of the guy making the product into a cigarette there, the ejaculate, I guess there's a name for that, where you make the little cigarette and impregnate yourself from Uncle Bitch Jesus. That cigarette's called a Virginia Slim. The Virginia Slim. My grandma used to smoke Virginia Slims. That was her jam.
So that's how this baby was made. They connected their cells through a sheet strung down the air vents. Dude wrapped his semen in saran wrap, passed it to the lady. She administered it. And yay, 2 people in jail for murder have a baby that they don't have to take care of. They've passed it on to the dude's mother, who's very excited. Now, this couple, they're in different jails now, maybe because the authorities don't want them making any more babies, or maybe the dude's mother, who's now taking care of this air vent saran wrap baby. The dude's mother might have made a phone call and said, look, get these 2 away from each other. I don't need any more babies. But they still communicate over the phone, and they have video visits. Of course, I always enjoy it when smart mouth 8th graders and social media dorks comment on the stories. And I lied to you, I don't always enjoy it, because usually it's just angry nonsense. But here's one comment that I enjoyed where the listener said, if only these 2 channeled that type of creativity and effort into, like, not murdering people. Oh, can you imagine that, Josh? Your son, more importantly, my godson. God forbid he goes away to prison.
Well, it runs in the family, but yeah, hopefully he doesn't.
And then he gives you a phone call, from jail, and says, yeah, I just wanted to let you know you should be expecting a package at your door in the next couple of days. And you go, oh, and it's his baby. And he's going to be in prison for the next 25-some years. And that baby is now yours, Josh.
Well, I can tell you my wife would be psyched to have another...
she would be.
Another young one around the house.
She'd have to pretend that she's upset a little. Oh, such an inconvenience.
Well, I guess we'll raise another one.
Oh, boy, what a nightmare.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Just absolutely love it. Again, the character Hal, the television series Malcolm in the Middle. When Hal finds out that his wife is pregnant. It's just brilliant stuff. Now I got to try to find that episode on YouTube and watch it when the show is over. Hey, look, sports, right. Okay, that's cute and everything. We like to talk sports now and again. But I warned you pricks that we had a big fat-ass concert announcement that was scheduled to go down at this time. 93X presents Breaking Benjamin and Stained. Now, they're calling it, Cubby, Awaken the Fallen Tour, and it's coming to town Wednesday, May 28th to Target Center.
I like the title of that. That's pretty cool.
Awaken the Fallen Tour. Get your tickets early with one of those 93X pre-sales that we run now and again. That's going to be Thursday at noon. Go ahead, go over to 93x.com, use the pre-sale code 93XRadio. Tickets officially go on sale to mere mortals this Friday. Again, the show is Breaking Benjamin and Stained, Wednesday, May 28th at Target Center. Just for a goof, right now on the damn Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text BETTER to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to that show.
Speaking of Awaken, Wapple, didn't you once go to awaken a funeral for a family member not too long ago?
Yeah, an awake.
Yeah, you went to an awake. That's what you thought it was called, an awake.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Boy, when you learn stuff.
I've had that where as an adult I learned something that was way, way wrong. I've been saying my entire life.
Yep.
And you say it so confidently, too.
Yep. I went to an awake last night. Like, what is that?
Huh? Actually, I have to say this. Mine was epitome. I've been saying that like epitome my whole entire life.
Oh, because you read it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it looks like when you read it.
Uh-huh.
It'll get you. It'll get you when you least expect it. By the way, that Breaking Benjamin and Stained prize brought to you by Live Nation. Okay, jock sniffing real quick. For once, the Timberwolves looked like they were having a good time last night, and they got a win. They looked like they were having a good time, and they got a win. They tuned up the Los Angeles Lakers by nearly 30 points. The Pigs play at home tonight against the Vancouver Canucks. We got plenty to cover when Randy Shaver and, what's the word I'm looking for? Happily. There's a better word for that. But Randy Shaver won't be alone at 7:30. See Willie Miles will also be checking in, and we can cover all of these things. Stick around. Josh's News is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at driveeasymd.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with AutoQuote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
I was inside changing my clothes and I hear a gunshot. Boom! So I run outside because I know that my husband went outside. That's the time when I go outside, I saw him on the floor.
A 72-year-old Florida grandfather celebrating Thanksgiving with family and friends was shot by his neighbor during a tumultuous tussle over tunes played too loud. The man had gone downstairs to talk with his neighbor who lived in the unit below after the neighbor reportedly had complained about the volume of the grandfather's music. Then the argument over the loud music really hit a high note. An altercation occurred, during which the neighbor pulled a firearm and shot Grandpa. The man's wife said she heard a gunshot, rushed to check what had happened. She confronted the neighbor, who then made additional threats towards her. The shooter remained at the scene, cooperated with police, and claimed self-defense. That case is under investigation.
Must have been ska.
I don't know what they were listening to.
Is that worth shooting somebody over?
I bet it was ska.
But you'd shoot somebody over ska at any volume. It didn't have to be loud.
No, it doesn't have to be loud, but that's one of those styles of music. It's designed to make us violent.
A 65-year-old Massachusetts man attacked his 80-year-old roommate on Thanksgiving for standing too close to the holiday spread because the guy often sneezes.
Friends, roommates. They'd known each other for about 30 years, had lived together for over 20 years.
Frank, the older man, was heading into the kitchen to wash dishes Thursday when his roommate threw him to the ground. The men had argued earlier in the day about the older man standing too close to the food that was being cooked because he sneezes too often.
Yeah.
Leftovers were cooling near the sink when the older man entered the kitchen to clean his dish. In an interview with police, the younger man said his roommate often sneezes and he didn't want anything to contaminate the food. So when he found the older guy too close, he shoved him away, saying he believed the roommate's feet must have got tangled, causing him to fall to the ground.
That's what happened. His feet got tangled up.
He's due back in court tomorrow.
God help me if I have a roommate when I'm 80 years old.
A 27-year-old suspect in Minneapolis took a bold and bizarre approach to evade police, attempting to flee by smashing through a basement wall into a neighboring home. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office shared photos of the aftermath, detailing how the suspect tried to outwit deputies by creating a makeshift escape route. But any hope of a clean getaway crumbled when a canine officer tracked him down, finding him tucked under a pile of clothes in a closet in the neighbor's home. We've seen plenty of creative escapes over the years, but tunneling through a wall was a first, the sheriff's office said, adding that deputies were caught off guard by the unusual attempt. The suspect, wanted for felony assault, now has an additional charge of first-degree burglary on his record.
How did he get that done? He had a shovel in his back pocket or
I don't
something?
know if it's a sledgehammer. I'm not sure. Not sure what he did there.
Cripes.
A 54-year-old man who gave a fake name to police was arrested after forgetting the fake name he gave to police.
That'll happen.
You gotta pick an easy name.
Richard Hallmark was pulled over by the Polk County Sheriff's Office November 19th. When asked for his name, he confidently claimed to be Robert Hallmark. But things hit a hilarious snag when a search of the car turned up a backpack filled with marijuana and meth. Naturally, Richard insisted the drugs weren't his. They said they actually belonged to his brother, Robert Hallmark, forgetting that was the fake name he gave police. Law enforcement likened it to George Foreman's habit of naming all of his sons George, or the iconic Newhart TV characters Larry and his brothers Daryl. But it wasn't impossible to imagine brothers both named Robert, they said, so they took his word for it at first. But the comedy didn't last long. Richard eventually cracked, admitting his real identity and confessing he lied to avoid arrest on an outstanding warrant.
That's embarrassing.
You got me. He tried.
That is good, isn't it? Yeah, what's your name? Josh. Whose drugs are these? Oh, that's Josh's drugs. Not mine.
He's my brother.
Some bold thieves are accused of swiping $25,000 in cash from a man's car. Well, that man was inside a church praying. That's low.
Hey, right.
According to court documents, the victim had just withdrawn the money to buy a car and decided to stop at the church for a quick prayer. But when the prayer is, please don't let my wife find out I just took out $25,000. But when he returned to his vehicle, he found the window smashed and the cash gone. Police say the suspect's plan was anything but divine. It started with stealing a license plate off a car in South Oklahoma City. They swapped their Texas plate for the stolen Oklahoma one, then spotted the victim leaving a bank with cash. The thieves reportedly followed him, even running a red light to stay on his trail. Unaware he was being tailed, though, the victim made his detour to the church. While he prayed inside, the suspect smashed his car window and made off with the cash. Perhaps he wasn't praying hard enough. The brazen heist didn't end well for the alleged thieves, however, as they were later stopped and arrested.
You got any ideas, Cubby, on why a guy yanks $25,000 out of the bank and then immediately wants to make a prayer?
I maybe he was worried about the implications of spending $25,000, or I don't know.
A lady of the night.
Maybe a degenerate gambler?
Yeah, maybe he's going to go place a big bet.
Possibly.
I don't know about you, but I like to think dark things.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
So
same here.
I'm
yeah.
picturing he's a degenerate gambler. He's going to pay a hitman, something like that.
And why leave that in the car?
You got to be
Yeah,
nuts.
that's a dumb.
I don't leave
It's
anything.
not-
I mean, I guess I've had my car broken into so many times that I've learned my lesson. But yeah, I don't leave anything in there that I would care about getting stolen.
Yeah, that tells me that he was under a stressful situation.
Appears that way.
And it got worse for him.
How? Oh, yeah, the money. After swiping a van, which she later sold for scrap, a Minnesota woman left behind a trail even the bumbling fictional police squad lieutenant Frank Drebin would find too obvious to miss.
Frank Drebin.
Her personal journal. And one particular journal entry wasn't too subtle. Totally stole a car today, the 30-year-old wrote with unsettling enthusiasm. Something I never thought of doing. Effing super freaking out about it, she stupidly scribed.
What are you, a 9-year-old? What are you doing keeping a journal?
The entry, penned on the same day a Brown County man reported his 2004 Ford Freestar missing, was as close to a signed confession as it gets. Investigators later discovered the van had been stolen and sold for scrap at a salvage yard in nearby Blue Earth County. A Brown County Sheriff's Office investigator stumbled upon the woman's journal during the investigation. It laid bare her car thieving escapades in black and white. When confronted, the woman denied knowing the vehicle was stolen, but unfortunately for her, her journal spilled the beans.
She totally stole a car today.
She totally did.
Yeah.
Now she's facing a couple of felony charges. I mean, usually that's something you post on Instagram or TikTok, but she just kept it old school in a journal.
I can picture her just like sitting on her bed, kicking her feet in the air, writing in her journal about her day.
And she's got like one of those little puffy things at the end of her pen.
Yes, it's got a little lock on the journal.
In the end now, I'm sorry I blew up because you kept some kind of a journal for a while, didn't you, Josh?
I had, somebody once told me, you know what you should do? This is good for your mental health. You should just journal whatever it is about your day. Doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
It was actually our boss, I think, that said that. And so there was an app. He recommended this app. I think it was called One Day or something like that.
Our current boss?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him that told me.
Well, it feels like to me longer ago than that. But anyway,
no, it was remember because I read you?
Yeah.
It was it last several years.
Oh, God, to me, that seems like 20 years ago. But anyway, so you were told this would be good for your mental health at the end of the day.
Yeah, and so I had nothing to write. So it was like, had enchiladas again.
Yeah.
Traffic was just fine on the way. It was so boring that my mental health suffered after reading. So I stopped doing it. Yeah, I did it for 2 weeks.
You tried.
People told me, no, it takes a little while. But yeah, nothing. It was so dumb.
No,
I tracked bowel movements. I'm sorry for that, but I did.
You had to give
I had nothing to write.
When you told us that story, I don't think I've laughed harder.
Oh, how boring it was.
So funny.
Oh, man.
One of the things that's special about you, Cubby, is that, you're not afraid to try new things. And I'm not trying to be cute by saying that. Most people would chuckle at the thought of being a grown person keeping a journal, but you tried it.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I tried meditation just once. I couldn't do it. Now, I've heard that takes a lot of practice, too.
Oh, I love those guided meditation apps.
Oh, you do
love those what?
Guided meditation apps where, someone kind of talks you through relaxing and letting your mind be free. They're very nice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You tried this also, Josh.
I tried it just one time.
What did you do? You just sat?
I listened to this lady say, I don't know.
I'm one with the universe. Nothing else matters. That kind of a thing? Okay.
Yep. Okay. Turn your brain off. Close your eyes. All that kind of stuff.
Start humming.
Yeah, I can't do that because I can't turn my brain. I just end up thinking about all the things I could be doing instead of meditating.
Right. You feel kind of silly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, text me your social security. It was a bad app I had. A 27-year-old Florida man was arrested after accidentally shooting his wife in the neck. A mishap he attributed to mishandling his firearm while putting it away shortly after using cocaine. And the cocaine might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of the shakes, maybe.
The incident occurred early last Monday morning, prompting a response from the Broward County Sheriff's Office. When deputies arrived, they found Sean Woolard holding a blanket to his wife's neck wound, standing over her, trying to stop the bleeding. Despite initial hesitation, he complied when asked to step aside so first responders could provide medical care. The victim, while being treated, reassured authorities the shooting was accidental and emphasized that Woolard didn't mean to do it. However, police noted he made several unsolicited and incriminating remarks at the scene. According to the report, he told officers, "We were looking for the cat all day. We came inside, turned on a movie, and did some cocaine. I went to put away the firearm, and the gun went off." A search of the home revealed several open alcohol bottles and a visible white powdery substance on the coffee table, adding to the charges.
What a doofus. Do you ever get your wife's respect back?
I don't think so. Unless she had shot me in the past under the exact same circumstances, I don't think you do.
Unless she's made a similar mistake in her past, she never, ever looks at you the same way.
A 64-year-old man putting a gun into his shorts Saturday accidentally shot himself. Deputies arrived to find Harvey Brady in a bunch of trouble. He was sprawled out on his kitchen floor, nursing a gunshot wound to his lower stomach, Brady was, courtesy of his own firearm.
It's a damn good thing he didn't get his tallywhacker in there.
I know. They didn't mention anything about it, so I'd imagine that's not the case.
Gave himself the old Cheddar Bob.
What's that?
8 Mile.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Eminem's got a buddy in the movie called Cheddar Bob, and he has a gun in his waistband that goes off.
Never saw it.
I like that movie.
Yeah, very good
Love
movie.
it.
So, yeah, he shot himself in the tummy somehow. Maybe he wears his shorts up high. Turns out he had picked up his trusty sidearm from the kitchen counter and, while attempting to holster it in the waistband of his shorts, managed to shoot himself instead. Witnesses and investigators pieced together the chain of events, confirming Brady's shorts were no match for his sidearm. A 36-year-old driver suspected of DUI was arrested with his finger stuck in his can. A deputy in Arizona saw the driver swerving off the road, hitting a guardrail, causing damage and blocking the roadway November 23rd. Video posted to Facebook shows the man got his finger stuck in a can of White Claw. The driver, who was the only person in the vehicle, was arrested.
Got his finger stuck in a can.
That hurts.
That happens.
Oh, you've had that happen?
No.
Yeah.
Is he a chimpanzee or something?
Yeah, well, why was his finger? Maybe it was in the process of opening it, it's stuck in there.
He might have been stuffing a dead chew in there.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Or just, just for fun. Who knows? Beginning tonight, the 4th season premiere of Hard Knocks in season. This time featuring the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, man, you got to be a dork to tune into that.
That starts tonight on HBO and Max. Ozzy Osbourne, 76 today.
Son of a bitch.
Congratulations to Seedman Jesus and Brittany, who got engaged on Friday. Great news. 3 daughters, 1 son. Jesus texted in a happy birthday to 1/3 of his daughters, turning 20 today. Happy sweet 16 to Paige from Dad, Pale Horse Rider. Double D's Jesus sends a birthday shout-out to her boyfriend, Ross. And happy 40th to Mighty Millimeter Jesus. That's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
There's always something new with him. He's an embarrassment to himself. This guy's, he comes around this community. He thinks he runs in here.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
So excited. Obviously, this team was, so fun to watch because of just how they played and how you could just feel like either through the TV or watching the games, like there was just this energy and chemistry that was just it was inspiring, and it was, they did things the right way.
Lindsey Whalen back in the business coaching with the Minnesota Lynx. Randy Shaver calling us on the telephone. Good morning, Randy Shaver. Calling on the telephone all the way from the terrible state of Florida. I believe he's found a payphone on the sidewalk out front.
Jail.
Out front of the motel there. He's on vacation. Right. Randy Shaver, we're joined also by C. Willi Miles. He's just sitting here in studio with us. Good morning, C. Willi.
Good morning, everybody.
Looking
skinny. Do you really call it vacation when you're retired?
Well, yeah, because you're out of town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever you want. I'd call it vacation since you left town. Like I was saying, C. Willi Miles. Josh, did you check him out yet? I mean, C. Willi Miles,
I always do, yeah.
He always looks fit, but today you look skinny.
You do look a little skinnier. Yeah.
Did you pass on traditional Thanksgiving dinner this year? Is that why you look so thin?
Well, I just didn't go hard.
You didn't go
hard like I normally do. You know, I was with my family, man, and so I have a brother and I have a sister. When they're together, it's oil and water.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting there. I was on pins and needles, just waiting, just trying to keep peace.
Okay,
that's what I was trying to do. So I forgot to eat.
Stress.
They're like when you grow up in a family. This is 11 of us, 9 girls and 2 boys. So and these 2 are they're the you know what I mean? Like they don't mix.
I think we all know what you mean.
So I'm similar to you in if the stress, they're stress eaters. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I don't. So you're like that as well?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened because I was I just wanted it to go well. It was at her house.
Sure.
And I'm just cause he rode with me and I didn't need that conversation driving back.
Right.
You gotta, because I'm going to tell him 100% your fault. Your fault.
So nothing cut loose between.
Cut loose.
That's good.
It was just but I was, how you just on guard. I was just, I was a knight. That's what I was. I was a knight protecting my king.
No, I get it. You were kind of sitting on a tentative situation, stress and concern.
But this been a tour season for me too, so I don't eat it. I eat healthier when I'm out on the road.
How is it that you eat healthier when you're on the road?
Well, I do it at home before I head out on the road, and then as I'm on the road, I pay attention to where I'm going, and if I'm flying somewhere where I know there's going to be like a restaurant desert, then I'll try to prepare some stuff I can take with me. that I can eat.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Because otherwise, you can pick up weight pretty good.
You become the size of a house.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't like to sound bougie, but my suits are tailored.
Yeah.
And they don't have room. Like, they don't give you forgiveness like you just buy it off the rack.
Next thing you know, you got to go buy a whole new gang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I got to really put in the work to trim down, but otherwise.
Randy Shaver, on this topic, here's a sign that you are, I know you're a retired man, of course, but here's a sign that you are on vacation. I imagine since you've ended up down in Florida, you're probably eating things that you normally wouldn't eat at home. Are you letting it go a little bit,
drinking
right?
a little more,
Drinking
maybe.
some more hooch?
Actually, no. I'm kind of like Willi. I probably eat worse at home than I do when I'm on vacation.
You go to a restaurant with you and the wife down there in Florida. What are you getting? Brussels sprouts and corn?
Well, not necessarily, but I don't. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I can't explain it. I just don't. I don't stack as much. I don't, because we're always doing something.
Okay.
So I really don't. It's not a lot of downtime, I guess. How I look at it. Although
like both of you guys are quite disciplined in this department.
Well, I think maybe it's just easier
trying
too, right?
to.
It's
What's that?
It's easier if somebody else is cooking you something healthy. It's easier than you doing it. Where at home, it's dino nuggets and mac and cheese.
Oh, hell yeah. Now you're talking.
Yes.
Restaurants tell you when to stop. For something, sometimes I don't know when I'm at home. I got this whole pot of spaghetti. I might as well eat all of it.
That's me.
I always lose weight on vacation simply because of what Randy said. You're just not snacking.
I once heard somebody say that leftovers are for quitters.
Yeah. It took me a while to realize you can not eat everything in the house. My wife had to tell me.
Well, there was a bunch of quitters in my house over Thanksgiving. So.
There's also that famous joke where it says, any pizza can be a personal pan pizza if you believe in yourself.
Well, so you grew up in a big family, Willi, as did I. And so it was kind of like you had to eat everything you thought you might want for the day because somebody else was going to take it.
Exactly. There were no leftovers.
So that's how it was. My wife had to train me, like, it'll still be there if you want to eat it late.
Train you.
It sounds ridiculous that she had to do that, but I never considered that.
You couldn't even be late to our dinner table, man. If you were late, if my mom said we were eating at 5, if you were at 5, it is 5:03, and you're the last person in line, you can take whatever you want. If that person isn't there behind you, you out. You missed out.
But was it like this at your house too, where like if I turned my head in the middle of dinner, my cousin would grab my pork chop or something like that? That's not a euphemism. He would take it off my plate.
You ate like you were in prison. Like you didn't talk to nobody.
You protect yourself and your food.
You held your knife and fork in one hand and you guarded your plate. You slid it so far to your chest.
Yeah,
your whole head was over your plate.
It was a battle.
I was just going to say, my uncle, he's about 66 right now, and when he eats, he was the youngest in the family. He still hovers over his plate, ready to stab someone who's going to grab something.
Hey, I used to do a bit about that. It's like if people eat like that, you're either from a big family or you've done time.
Well, we got a little of both in my family.
Right, exactly. We do too.
Were any of you ever, when you were young, were you criticized by your folks for eating too fast?
Oh yes, I've been criticized for by a lot of people.
Still do.
Okay, you're a fast eater, Randy Shaver?
Oh, it's terrible.
You've criticized me for that.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why is exactly what you're talking about. At our dinner table, when I was growing up, if you were the first one done, you were the first one to get what's ever left, seconds or whatever.
You wanted seconds, you had to eat fast. Yep.
So you kind of trained yourself to eat fast so that you can get more. Is kind of how that worked. And that mentality, unfortunately, I pass that along to my kids too. They're both fast eaters.
I hate eating with fast eaters.
I don't like fast eaters.
I know.
Sloppy.
I hate it too.
Josh is a very fast eater.
I've gotten better, and especially like I have friends who really into like smoking and cooking meats, and like they'll take 3 days to prepare it. So I try and slow down there. Because just out of respect.
That's their problem if they're going to be all douchey about their food. But you're a respectful guy. Fast eater, Willi? No.
No, my daughter is. I don't know where she got it from, man. I used to look at my daughter and go, what is wrong with you? And she, till this day, she chows, man.
Uh-huh.
She looks at me sometimes, and she looks at me, and she stops eating, and then she sits back and go, I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's crazy how fast some people can eat.
All these conversations about family dinners, I'm jealous. I mean, we were lucky if we got a piece of toast most nights at my place growing up. But the reason I bring up fast eating, and this is kind of a situation where I walked into something I was unaware of. When I was a high school kid, I got invited to have dinner with one of my buddies and his parents. So it's me and my buddy, Donnie, and his parents. And I didn't know this going into it, but Donnie's dad in particular had a real problem with how fast Donnie ate. I didn't notice it. Even being one of his best friends, I didn't notice it because I was a kid.
Yeah.
So we go have dinner at Donnie's, and I'm on my best behavior with his parents were kind of fancy people. And sure as hell, as we're enjoying dinner, Donnie's just firing it down like it's his damn job. He wipes his plate clean in no time and stands up and walks away. And his dad says this, "Oh, Donnie won again. There you go. Nice work, Donnie. You're the fastest eater in the family. Jesus Christ. It's disgusting." And now there's this yelling match is happening, and Donnie's like, "Well, I'm hungry. Maybe if you had dinner on time, I wouldn't be so." And I'm sitting there with my whatever we had going, what the hell did I walk into here?
HVAC delivery Jesus said, "I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been asked, did you even taste it?" I've had people say that.
Exactly.
I had an uncle tell me he liked watching me eat because he can see sparks every time the fork hit the plate. It was going so fast.
And here's something else notable about your eating habits, Josh. Large bites.
Yeah, I'm much better now. I'm much
really large bites.
Yeah,
oh,
you
God.
get it as fast as possible.
I've never really paid attention to you while you eat. I guess I wouldn't know.
Like I said, it's different.
Okay, well, when we first started working together, I remember one of the first days we started working together, we went out to lunch at Arby's. I remember it because you're the love of my life. I remember the first time we had a meal together, and it was friggin' Arby's.
Wow. And I'm sure I had Arby's sauce all over me.
After the lunch was over and I went home, I was married to some other woman at the time, and she said, "How was lunch with Josh?" And I said, "Gross." Because it was gross.
Yeah, it's different. It's different now.
See, Willie Miles, you see a lot of, I suppose you don't have time to see a lot of motion pictures, do you?
Oh, that's all I do.
Yeah, I would think you probably do because you're sitting around during the day waiting for your show.
Well, I imagine different. So I was asking everyone earlier, Randy Shaver, what about you? Everyone here says no so far. Randy Shaver, C. Willie Miles, have you seen the new Gladiator Part 2?
I did not. My son saw it, and he was disappointed.
Oh, shoot.
Bummer.
No. I really want to see it.
He said it was not as good as he was hoping for.
Okay.
Someone said that it was better than the first, and I was like, "That's not
no
possible.
way.
That's
There's
not
no
possible.
way it's better than the first.
That movie.
There's no way.
What do you mean, Randy? You haven't watched it.
The first Gladiator?
No. You love the first one so much, you're sure the second one.
There's no way it's better than the first one. No way.
I really liked the first one, too.
It's great.
I couldn't wait for River Phoenix. What's his name?
Joaquin Phoenix.
I couldn't wait for Joaquin Phoenix to die.
That was a joy.
I will get my revenge in this life or the next.
I couldn't wait for that character to die because dude was so terrific at playing a douchebag, but he always has to cry. It drives me crazy.
He does cry in a lot
Why
of
does
movies.
Joaquin Phoenix have to cry in every one of it? Anyway, the reason I bring it up, Barstool Sports, a website, here we are, we are in the middle of what is technically a sports conversation, or the beginning of a sports conversation. Barstool Sports put together something cute, and then Dana added some Minnesota flavor to it. Which athletes would win in gladiator-style death matches? And it's stuff like Gronk with a baseball bat versus Shaq with a knife or whatever. It's that kind of a thing. So on the vibe of Gladiator, how about some of these Minnesota-themed athletes? Pick a winner in these Gladiator-style death matches. How about, so we got an athlete and a weapon. How about Ontario Smith, former Viking running back Ontario Smith?
With a Whizzinator?
He is armed with a... You're correct, Randy Shaver. He is armed with a Whizzinator.
That's his weapon.
Okay. His opponent is Randy Moss. Now, I guess Randy doesn't really have a weapon, but he is on the hood of a meter maid's car.
I'd rather be hit by a car than a Whizzinator. I'll take my chances.
That's an easy one.
Or wait a minute,
Randy Moss.
Dana, did you mean to say Randy Moss is in a meter maid's car?
Well,
or
remember he pushed that meter maid? I was just kind of going off that vibe.
No. I understand where you're the source of the bit. Is he in the car or is he on the car?
I don't know. You pick your flavor.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He still beats the Whizzinator.
I wouldn't want to get hit with the Whizzinator, especially, I mean, maybe if it was fresh out of the box, but if it had been, pre-used, you do not want to get hit by that.
Yeah, I was imagining it used.
I would just go running the other direction, and Ontario would win.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
nothing worse than a used Whizzinator.
So even Grandma always told me.
Even if I'm in a car and I get slapped in the yapper by the Whizzinator, it's even though it doesn't really hurt me, Josh. I think I give up. I'm defeated just by the disrespect of it all.
Yeah, that's the thing. That would stick with me longer. I mean, once you came out of your coma and learned how to walk again after being hit by a car.
No, you never come back.
That you probably got a big paycheck.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Conrad McDougal. What's the guy's name again?
Randy Moss?
The fighter.
Conrad.
Conor McGregor?
I'd rather have Conor McGregor punch me with his fist than a Whizzinator to the teeth.
Because like you said, the whole life you got hit by a Whizzinator.
Yes.
You have to live with that.
I'm fine. I didn't feel any pain, but I just took a fake plastic penis to the mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's going to hurt more than any punch.
Yeah.
What other matchups do we have here? Fred Smoot. See Willie Miles.
Yep.
Former Viking cornerback Fred Smoot.
I can't imagine what his weapon is.
His weapon, Randy Shaver, he has an oar.
Oh, that's okay.
Because he's fresh off of the bang boat.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
There's a lot of other things he could have grabbed off the boat.
Well, you didn't hear the other side of the matchup yet. You didn't hear the other side of this gladiator death match.
Okay, sure.
And it's similar to what Ontario Smith is swinging around. So Fred Smoot has an oar. Bryant McKinney has a double-ended dildo.
Yeah, I'll take the oar all day.
Take the oar.
Yeah, the oar has reach, too. I think it'll be a little bit longer than the double-ender.
Same theory as
I don't know. We haven't seen it.
That's true.
Those double-ended
you know what?
really get
I hate to say this, Dana, but you got the matchups mixed up. It should have been Ontario Smith against Bryant McKinney.
Yes, it should have.
Yeah, you're right.
It should have. We should have gone fake penis versus fake penis.
A penis-on-penis matchup.
What were you saying about double-enders, Ashley?
You can really get them going like a helicopter
Yes.
would. Yeah, you can get those things going.
It's like a nunchuck.
Remember we had one in the studio?
Yes.
It was pink. It now lives at my house for no reason.
Ashley and I held hands.
No reason.
No reason whatsoever.
There's no reason.
She's right. We had a double-ended rubber dildo in studio for a while. Ashley and I held hands. I swung that sumbitch over my head as fast as I could, and we lifted off the ground 8 inches. I said, hang on, I don't know where we're going to end up. We thought we would continue on, but we kind of just lowered back to earth after.
Beautiful.
I got Lou Ford, former twin Lou Ford.
With an iron?
Yes, you're correct.
Yep.
The next gladiator-style death match amongst Minnesota athletes is Lou Ford. He has a hotel room iron in his hand. And he's going against one of his former teammates, Delman Young, who's armed with a beer bottle.
Oh, God. I'll take Lou Ford. He's crazy.
Because Lou Ford's likely to do it to himself again. You might be safe.
Yeah,
that's true.
Why don't we do mascots? Crunch. He has his T-shirt cannon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which one night I saw used as a burrito cannon.
Dude. Oh, that must have been awesome.
Wow.
Crunch has his T-shirt cannon. Nordy from the Man Bear Pigs, he's armed, of course, with a hockey stick.
That depends what you put in that T-shirt can. I suppose you can load that up with just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crunch is shady, too.
T-shirt cannon.
Crunch is shady?
Is that right?
Yeah. I participated in a charity basketball event, and he was helping the other team cheat. So, yeah, he's shady.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, he's a wolf. Maybe he's sticking to his character.
Yeah.
Wolves are sneaky little bit. I love that. What's that?
Untrustworthy.
They are untrustworthy. I love that Michael Beasley was included in this.
Be Easy, wasn't that his nickname?
Be Easy. One of the most prolific college basketball players. I mean, he would just dump 45 points a night.
Yep.
He gets into the pros, and it was just a joke. And I'm going to go on a little side note here. Most stoned-looking athlete I've ever seen, the answer would be Michael Beasley.
He looks so high.
He always looked so ripped off his ass on marijuana cigarettes. Michael Beasley has a 5-foot bong as his weapon against the... And you know who he's going up against, Josh? The Pecker.
That's pretty cool.
Nikola Pekovic.
Wow.
And Nikola, of course, Nikola Pekovic needs no weapon. He just got his bare hands.
Beasley earlier this year said he would dominate in today's NBA.
Maybe he's
scored
right.
25 points every 20 minutes, he said.
He may be right, but he did not. He certainly didn't do that in his era.
Right.
No.
I remember one game before a Wolves game in the locker room, Michael Beasley comes in, and he has scratches all over his face, like intense nail scratches. And somebody goes, hey, Bees, what happened? He goes, I got in a fight with the Tasmanian devil. And that was that, right? Okay. Good enough.
No problems.
Does that mean he was like tripping balls or something?
I have no idea. I'm guessing it was sexually related, though. That was kind of what we all assumed.
Oh, sure. Nobody's going to beat the Pecker in any kind of fight. So I'm going with the Pecker. He was a monster. I love watching him play. Finally, Kirk Cousins has his full pile of death rocks.
He's got a bag of rocks.
Kirk Cousins has his entire bucket of death rocks. And he's taken on former Viking punter Chris Kluwe, who is armed with all of his painted figurines.
Oh, Chris Kluwe is going to win.
Yeah, Kluwe can put some sort of spell on you. He'd outwit you.
Oh, man.
And Cousins hasn't been that accurate lately.
Exactly.
Randy, you're taking Warcraft?
I'm taking Warcraft.
Yeah. Well, the amount of interceptions that Cousins threw, I don't think he's going to be landing too many rock throws on Kluwe, the way he's been throwing the ball lately.
What a massive dork that Chris Kluwe.
I love that he just owns it. He's proud.
He was entertaining, though.
Yes, he
God
was.
darn it. He was entertaining.
He could be pretty darn funny. That's
You know
sure.
what? You know what else?
Hilarious.
You know what I loved about Chris Warcraft, too? He was really easy to piss off. And we did that on purpose a couple times. He's kind of, Josh, he was kind of a ticking time bomb.
A little bit.
Yeah. I had fun pissing him off. No, he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he had a
But
temper,
a massive dork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive dork, yeah. And he was fun to piss off. All right. I guess we can keep going with football. Since we left off with Cousins and old Chris Kluwe. Oh, well, by the way, when I was reading this matchup of former Minnesota athletes and, who might be good competitors in a gladiator-style death match, I had to think back to a couple of older Vikings. How about this, Randy Shaver? Keith Millard.
Oh, okay. Outside the bar in Mankato.
Okay. Well, you know what I was thinking?
Okay.
He's holding...
Bloomington.
Well, help me now, and see Willie Miles might be able to help me too. Keith Millard, his weapon, he's holding the Arby's drive-through window that he just tore smooth off the side.
That's Mankato.
Oh, that was Mankato.
Mankato, yeah.
Was that the story? Now, if you're a younger person, Keith Millard was a defensive tackle for the Vikings in the 80s and into the 90s, and he was very good at what he did.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of quarterback sacks. He was a tenacious, scary individual, really. And off the field, he got a little buck wild. And am I correct that the story was he tore the drive-through window right off the side of an Arby's building? And then I think his direct quote to the police was, "My arms are more powerful than your guns." That was the story I heard.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but I couldn't come up with an opponent. I don't know. Basil McRae? I don't know.
I can.
Who?
How about Joey Browner and the horse collars?
Okay. Joey Browner's got Millard by the horse collar. Yeah. That's not bad.
Oh, my God.
I'll take Joey Browner on that, by the way.
Former North Star Basil McRae should fight somebody, but I just couldn't come up with
always fought somebody.
I couldn't come up with who. And Basil, of course, has to be. Basil's only partially dressed. because that goes back to 1989 when the North Stars and Blackhawks fought on the ice before the game even started. During pregame warm-ups, they decided to beat each other to death. And McRae and Mark Tenorti came out of the locker room. I think they still had their socks on and their breezers, and that was it. And they just found somebody to punch.
Wow.
Basil McRae should be involved there.
What would former Viking Vasante Shenko use as a weapon?
Oh, God. The hammer?
I saw that here live.
Ask Ontario Smith.
What does Vasante Shenko use as a weapon? Good question.
If you saw that press conference, you know.
Is it concealed?
Oh my God.
Is it a concealed weapon?
It wasn't concealed at the time, that's for sure.
No, it was not.
I don't even know how you carry it.
I still can't believe he went with like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed that this happened." Okay.
Yeah, no way.
Oh, yeah, that's going back a ways. Shenko was in the locker room. Hell, that's got to be 15 years ago or something, right, Josh?
Easy.
I would think so.
In the locker room.
Probably longer than that.
D swinging. Someone got a picture of it. And then, of course,
I was watching on Channel 9. It was like live. They showed this thing.
And then he got the porno movie offers.
Yeah.
What was in it? If I remember right, the name of the movie they asked him to be in, because this has been going on for a long time. As soon as someone, like the Mike Tyson thing, hey, look, his ass cheeks were on television. Pornhub's going to offer him $1 million to be in a movie. It's a tired, it's a tired gimmick. But when Shenko had that episode, it was still a relatively new gimmick, and I believe he was offered a role in the movie. You can look this up if you like. See Willie Miles. I believe the movie he was offered to star in was called Big Butt Barbecue Part 2.
I thought it was Zach and Shenko make a porno or something like that. I thought it was like a parody of.
Well, maybe there were two different.
It could have been. Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we were talking a little bit about Kirk Cousins yesterday, and then Dana just made.
Yeah.
What we were talking because the Vikes play him on Sunday. Yeah. You're not a Kirk Cousins fan, are you, C. Willie?
Absolutely not.
I remember I just quoted you the other day, and I'll quote you again. I remember a while back, a couple years ago or so, when Cousins was still unfortunately playing here for the Vikings. You said, direct quote from C. Willie Miles, all he's ever won is money.
That's all he's ever won. Check his bank account. You check his bank account and then check his trophy case.
And get his agent.
There's money in his trophy case. That's all that's in his trophy case is money.
His agent is who you should get.
Absolutely.
He's the real MVP. Or she, I guess. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
If I was going to get an agent, that's the guy I'm calling.
Heck yeah.
So we talked a little bit about him yesterday, and he's been on a terrible run lately with the Atlanta Falcons. Over his last 3 games, he's thrown 6 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. And according to this article from thebiglead.com, he's looked utterly lost. Now, 4 of those 6 interceptions happened Sunday. He's looked lost. He looks like he's playing on one leg. He looks every bit the 36-year-old quarterback coming off of surgery. Mm-hmm. But, as everybody knows, speaking of all that money he's won, that probably keeps him on the field.
Yep.
For now, yeah.
Keeps him on the field.
Yeah.
And I believe.
And they're still kind of in playoff contention.
Well,
so, I mean, there's that, too.
Aren't they a first-place team?
No, I think Tampa's. I don't think they're. Well, maybe they are, but if they are, they're 500.
I think they're a first-place team, but I thought they were a couple games over. Anyway, look at someone look up the standings.
I don't think so.
They're tied with Buccaneers.
What's the record?
6-6.
6-6.
Yeah.
But I think, and so does Brad Ryder, thinks that this is all setting up perfectly for Cousins to come into town Sunday and just absolutely torch the Vikings.
Well, I mean, look at what Jerry Jeudy did last night for Cleveland in Denver last night, which, Cleveland lost, but Jeudy had over 200 yards receiving. So
there were records set. There were records set. I have them in front of me here, Randy Shaver, unless you have them in front of you.
I don't know.
Jerry Jeudy, yeah. Playing last night for the Cleveland Browns, playing his ex-ball club, the Denver Broncos.
With your guy Jameson, by the way.
I warned you about Jameson Winston. Josh and I have been talking. We did. We've been talking about him for months, years, saying this guy is good.
Yeah, but here's the problem. He's good and he's bad. He threw 2 pick sixes last night and 3 interceptions, and that's been the reason why he's never really become the great quarterback in the league. He just turns the ball over
The
too much.
receivers ran the wrong route.
I like the things he says.
That's receivers running the wrong. Jerry Jeudy out for revenge against his old team. Is this correct? He had 235 yards receiving.
Yes. He had a monster night.
He had a touchdown.
Career high for him.
Well, hell yeah. It says here that's the most by any wide receiver against a former team in NFL history. But the Browns still lost the game by 9 points.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy was drafted.
Because of 2 pick sixes that were thrown by Wicks.
When the receivers ran the wrong route. Jeudy was drafted ahead of our guy here in town, Jimmy...
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Now...
Judy was a beast in college, man.
Where did he play college ball?
Alabama.
Okay.
Great player.
Yeah, that's why I was reading that, he was...
Yeah. He was an absolute beast.
Well, maybe he'll become that now with this Cleveland Browns setup with he and Jameis.
Not sure what Denver was thinking.
Yeah, they had a terrible run there for a while. They had no quarterbacks. Jameis Winston now. They called last night one of the wildest games of the season. I saw a little bit.
It was crazy. I watched it. It was wild.
Jameis Winston. He found his way into the record books, too. I mean, this is one of those stats where you go, wait a minute, what? But still, it's a record. He's the first player to throw for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and have those 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown that you were mentioning, Randy, in the same game. 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. So, it's interesting.
So he threw 6 touchdowns.
He did. Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah, those should count.
And Ashley mentioned she loves the words that come out of his mouth.
Yes.
He's a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got an interesting take on life.
He's a funny guy. I love the guy.
Very energetic.
After the ball game, Winston said, I know I'm better than this. I'm just praying to the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
That's a good prayer, though. That's a good prayer.
So great.
I like a humble quarterback.
All right, our guy Andrew DePaula, we'll have to ask him about this on Friday. Vikings long snapper Andrew DePaula. It says here that he and that cute little 7th grade kicker, Willi Reichard, they're beginning to practice again. Maybe we'll see him soon. We'll ask him about it on Friday. The 2 of them are beginning to practice again.
Did I see that they signed that long snapper for the season, though? The other guy?
Someone would have to look that up.
I think they signed him for the season, too. So I was a little concerned when I saw that.
All right. Someone could look that up, possibly. Because I do not know. All right, more all-time records here. I can't help myself. I still take great pleasure in discussing what a massive joke Karen Rodgers has become and what a massive disaster he has brought upon the New York Jets. I take great pleasure.
Me too.
The Jets are the first team in the Super Bowl era to go 3-9 in their first 12 games, despite being favored in 8 of them.
Who did that?
Wow.
Nobody.
No wonder Robert Saleh lost his job.
So not only are they losing regularly, but bookmakers believe they should be winning.
Yeah. Wow. Bookmakers usually are not that wrong.
No.
You can't really be that wrong and be a quality bookmaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you won't be making a book for long.
That kind of goes against the grain of being a bookmaker.
And say, Rand, that's not a guy I'm going to book with.
No. It's kind of like one of those guys, if you've ever been around people who bet, and they never seem to get it right, and you always think to yourself, I'm going to bet the opposite of what he says, just because he never gets it right.
Right.
That's not a good bookmaker. No.
Man, Karen will likely retire after this season.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
You don't think so, Rand?
I say he will. But
I don't think he will.
That's fine. Whenever he does, is where I'm going with this. Whenever he does, he's going to go down in NFL history as a friggin' delusional moron, and I couldn't be happier.
That's his legacy now.
That's the legacy. That's the legacy people are going to remember.
Yep.
But that's who Aaron Rodgers is. That's who he's always been. But the problem is that he's always covered that up because of the way he's played, right? You can be smug and cocky, and then you get MVPs. You're in the NFC Championship every year. You're balling. You can make every throw on the field. You can be smug. The problem is his smugness and his arrogance and his play aren't matching up.
Who's that?
A former teammate, Willi. Is it Colin? Colon? Colin? I'm not
Willi Colin.
Willi Colon.
Cologne?
Willi Colin? Question mark?
I'll Colin.
All right, so Randy doesn't think that Karen will retire. Now, is that because you also, despite everything that I just said? Hang on a second, Randy.
I'm not.
Let me finish my statement. Despite everything I just said about Karen, I still would love to see him play one more year here.
No.
Now, do you believe he's going to stick around and play here?
You've got. Do I think he'll do what? Stick around and play for the Jets?
No, play here in Minnesota.
No, of course not.
Oh, I think that's what's going to happen.
No. Yeah. You've got Daniel Jones on the practice squad.
Nobody cares about Daniel Jones.
J.J. McCarthy.
Nobody cares about J.J. McCarthy.
Sam Darnold's going to have
Nobody cares about Sam Darnold.
No way. Yeah, they do. No. It's not happening.
They want to see Karen play here.
But I don't think he's going to retire. I think he'll end up someplace else for one more year.
Wherever that is, it would be destroyed. Everywhere. That man is nothing but bad. He's bad juju.
That's why I want him here. See Willie Miles.
He's bad juju on the practice field. He's bad juju in the huddle. And he just, I don't understand how you come from he had such a legacy. And when he left Green Bay, I mean, you were at the top of your game, man.
Because he went nuts.
Yeah, and you ruin you just ruin your career.
Yeah.
Everything you've done up until that point. I mean, you caught up with Brett Favre like real fast. You know.
Yeah, he lost his marbles, and it's a beautiful thing. And I so badly want him to play 1 year with the Vikings. Come on, we'd have a riot with that.
Randy, who do you think would take him? You said he might play for a different team next year.
Well, that's a good question. I guess looking at teams around the league, I'm not really sure. I just don't think he will walk away after a season that he just had like this. I just don't see him doing that. And I thought I read a couple places where he's already come out and said that he wants to play one more year. So I don't know. I don't think the Jets can afford to do that again next year. I just don't. I think they've got to just wipe the slate clean and start over again. Start over. But where he ends up, maybe he'll end up in a place where he can compete to be the starter. I don't know where that would be, but I just don't see him.
The Raiders, see Willie Miles.
The Raiders.
The Raiders, sure.
Apparently, there was a big game over the weekend down there in Texas. Texas A&M played the University of Texas.
Texas, yeah.
And what does it say now? Texas beat Texas A&M, and it was a big rivalry game, number one, and also they were playing for a spot in the SEC championship game, blah, blah, blah. There was a big football game over the Texas A&M and Texas. Tickets to the game were hard to come by. Now, what I have here in front of me is a couple of fans decided to get creative in order to get into the ball game without paying a dime. During the game, the police tweeted out that they had arrested 2 men who were wearing reflective vests and had hard hats on their heads. And they entered the stadium using fake construction credentials. All right.
That's smart, though.
It was a clever idea, sure.
Yeah,
you got to give him props for being that
I'm not criticizing a damn thing yet.
Yeah.
No, very creative.
I can't imagine how they'd screw that up.
Well, what happened here, Cubby, is on their fake credentials, they drew up a couple of names for themselves, a couple of aliases. One being Harry Ascrack.
Oh, no.
Oh, why would you do that? You had it all set up perfectly.
Likely because for social media. But the other fake name on the other guy's credentials, he was going ahead around the ball game by the name of Duncan McCockiner.
Now, that one I'd never heard before. Harry Ashcrack, I've heard that several times.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Duncan.
So close. So close to pulling it off.
So they weren't there for the game. They were there for the attention.
Yeah, there's no way you think you're not going to. They wanted that attention.
At first, I thought, okay, this is a cute scam. Until of course, you read the names, and they meant to be social media superstars for 4 or 5 hours. That was the intent. But the names are funny. They sure are.
You do the work to get into a big game like that, man. Don't screw it up.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
really.
Just for a funny little joke, dude.
Right.
It probably could have worked if you
Right.
used a legit name.
Right. You could have passed that information on to someone else to do. To get
I think that could have been even funnier had you got into the game and not gotten caught and then show the credentials. Or I don't know. That just you kind of defeated the purpose of getting into the game.
Yeah.
They didn't really
Dumb
care.
joke.
They didn't really care about the game. They cared about social media and maybe possibly.
That's too bad.
Again, being a guest on Macklemore's podcast. That was their goal. Maybe Macklemore will have us on his podcast. Or the Hawk Tua girl.
No.
Maybe we'll get to meet the Hawk Tua girl. All that crap. All that college age crap. One of my favorite stories to tell is a good pal of mine, Kenny. He went to see the Vikings play in Philadelphia at the old Veterans Stadium. And he had front row seats, and he had too many drinks, and he hopped over the rail and stood on the sideline for a good quarter of football. No one noticed that he was just a drunk dork wearing Vikings gear at a Philadelphia Eagles home game. And he was able to stand there on the sideline for quite a stretch of time until someone realized, hey, dude, you're not supposed to be here. And they put him in jail in the infamous Veterans Stadium jail.
Oh, they put him in jail.
The jailhouse that they have in the stadium.
In the stadium.
Yes.
You gotta love it.
And so here comes dorky Kenny with his head-to-toe friggin' stupid, Alfred Anderson jersey. No offense, I know your friends. He's got his Terry LeCount jersey. I don't know. Am I naming all your friends?
Yeah, this is my buddy.
I'm trying to come up with a dorky Viking from the. He's wearing his Bob Tucker jersey, and he gets thrown in the jail cell with all these drunken animal Eagles fans.
Oh no!
Yeah, not good.
And they flat out said, "We're going to kill you when no one's looking. We're going to kill you." And eventually eventually they said, the jailer, the jailhouse guy said, okay, you, sir, step out. And they said, you are being charged with trespassing or whatever. You are going to have to return to the state of Pennsylvania to go to court for this. At one point or another, we'll get a hold of you. So what's your name? What's your address? And he gave him a completely fake name and a fake address. They let him go, and he never heard of it again. He somehow, just with the fake name, fake ad, he got out of it.
Wow.
He was scared out of his...
That is terrifying.
Scared out of his mind. And this was about early 90s. So maybe he, legitimately, no offense to Bob Tucker, Terry LeCount, Alfred Anderson. I'm fans of all of them. Early 90s, he was probably wearing a Robert Smith jersey. I bet he was wearing a Robert Smith. And I don't like Robert Smith, so I have no problem.
I know you don't.
Never did. I never did see Willie Miles. He was on our show years ago, and he was a dickhead.
Yeah.
He likes himself a lot.
I can see that.
I got that impression.
Yeah, he was a dickhead. Pigs Canucks tonight at the X, Randy Shaver. You going down to the... Oh, no, you're in Florida. There are a lot of shysters in Florida, Randy.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye out for them.
So we touched on this a little bit yesterday. Everyone has fallen down to touch themselves over this new kid in town, this new defenseman by the name of David Jiricek. They acquired him a couple days ago in a trade with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He'll play soon enough, but likely not tonight is what I read. Likely not tonight. Oh, I almost completely forgot. For Christ's sake, we're having so much fun talking about gladiator fights and Whizzinators and this and that. For once, the Timberwolves really whooped someone's ass, and also, Randy Shaver, they appeared to be enjoying themselves and each other. They looked like a cohesive team.
Well, certainly defensively looked like the team that we saw last year. I think one of the differences, at least from my perspective, is when Mike Conley's on the floor and Mike Conley's playing the minutes that he normally plays, that team is way better when he is there. Mm-hmm. He just seems to, offensively they just seem to run better offense with him out there. Mm-hmm. They run the fast break better, and there's just a better defensive intensity.
The word you're looking for.
I mean, if you would have told me that you'd win a game against the Lakers, and I think Anthony Edwards ended up with, 8 points last night, something like that.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we saw last year, and obviously you've got to be consistent with that every game in order to pull yourself out of this 10-10 start. But you're right; it's a good sign.
I think what was the word? See, Willie Miles, you were
discipline.
Discipline. They play disciplined basketball.
Right.
Conley, that's what he brings to the floor.
He does.
Yes, he does.
And he's a good general.
Yes, he is.
Otherwise, when he's not out there, it's just a scramble.
Does Rudy Gobert smoke crack? If you watch last night's game, at times Rudy Gobert looked like he had been shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was flying all over the court. Rudy Gobert it was like he had a bottle rocket up his
sometimes I think there's just certain games or matchups where guys get up for. I think Gobert against Anthony Davis is one of those matchups where he just seems to play with a little bit more energy. And I also think when Conley's on the floor, Gobert is better too.
Well, of course, they've known each other for years.
Yeah, I just think that there's a chemistry there that, when Conley's not playing, Gobert just, not that he looks lost, but he just doesn't fit as well.
Last night, Gobert looked like he was 19 years old and had just had to hit a crack.
Yeah.
He was
17 and 12. If you can get that every night for that guy, you're in business.
The boys hit their three-point shots. They did start off the night turning the ball over, which makes me crazy. But there was an improvement there as well overall the rest of the game. LeBron James looked 78 years old.
Yeah. He did, yes.
He looked 78, 79 maybe years old.
What's the he's missed, 19 or 20 three-point shots in a row now or something like that?
Something bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just does not look in sync at all.
See, Willie?
The Lakers they're not that good of a team.
They got a decent record.
Yeah, they have a decent record.
I think they're better than you. I think they're okay. I think they'll make the playoffs. I really do. I think they're definitely a playoff contending team, but they didn't look good last night.
No. Wolves were terrific. And again, what really thrilled me was to see them laughing, and it seemed like they were enjoying themselves and each other.
Yeah.
And they have not shown that this year. They look somewhat opposed.
Been a lot of frustration.
They look somewhat opposed to each other, actually, sometimes on the bench and on the court where they're just kind of eyeballing each other. What, do you think that was my fault? That was your fault? That kind of a thing. They look to really be a team. Next up, they'll play at the Los Angeles Clippers tomorrow night. So what are you doing in Florida today, Randy? What are you going to do?
Actually, today's is probably the chilliest day they've had in a while, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of necessary beach activities, but I don't know what we have planned, to be honest with you.
All right.
I don't think we have too much of anything planned.
Are you in southern, where in Florida?
Fort Myers Beach.
Fort Myers Beach. Oh, love that area.
Yeah.
The one time
lives over there.
The one time I went to the Bahamas, we got off the boat and it was like 46 degrees. It was the coldest day in the history of the Bahamas. Yeah.
That sucks.
That's a sign.
That would suck.
That was it was really interesting, actually.
Oh, good start.
That is
Okay.
a bad sign.
We pulled up and I got out with my I got my Bermuda shorts on and my my hang loose tank top. This was the early 90s. Let's go party in the Bahamas. They said, it's the coldest day ever.
Right.
So, actually, we sat in a bar and watched a Vikings game. That's what we did.
Wow.
Not that that's the worst thing in the world.
That's a long way to go to watch a Vikings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was ready to hit up the topless beaches and all that. See what's going on. See, Willie knows what I'm talking about. He just got back from Turkin to Puka. Where the hell were you?
Puka to Beppo.
Puka to Beppo. Randy Shaver, go ahead. Have a wonderful day in Florida. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Have some key lime pie, brother.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
That's the best. That's the only thing they got in Florida.
Key lime.
That's all they got, huh?
Key lime pie.
They say try the key lime pie. We'll be back with more C. Willi here in a minute or two.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at driveeasymd.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Due to some sexual content, parental discretion is advised.
On 93X.
Yeah, we're back in the mix. By God, it's 8:32 here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. In studio with us, our dear friend C. Willi Miles. Good to have you, C. Willi.
If I turn my mic on,
we can hear you better when you do.
That's right. It's always good to be hanging out with you,
We love having you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you for making the trip.
The year 20, then 25 is up next.
Oh, that's daunting.
It is?
Yeah,
it
goes by very fast. Like everybody says, as soon as you turn 21, everything goes by very, very fast. And that's what is happening, and I don't like it.
Because it's true.
In my personal experience, that isn't true. Since I turned 40, it seems like between 40 and 53 now, I'm 53, went by in a blink of an eye. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20s and 30s seemed very... Maybe this will play out this way for you, Ashley. My 20s and 30s crawled. Just crawled, and it was magical. Oh, I was an animal. I had the best time in my 20s and 30s. From 40 till today seems like a blink of a damn eye. People are not looking forward to the year 2025. They're not. What do you think, C. Willi Miles? You looking forward to the next year?
Hey, man, I'm at that age where I look forward to every year.
I'm just glad to be here, too.
Right, I'm glad to be here, man.
Another day, another month, another year above ground.
I'll take it. Whatever it brings, man. I'm gonna, 10 toes down.
That's the logic of a mature person.
Right.
That's what that is.
I always see people talk about like 20s and stuff. Like I don't never want to be back in my 20s. I was broke. I was living check to check, man.
Well, yeah, but you had the time of your damn life. We were all broke when we were.
I did, man.
You did not have the time.
In my 20s, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for my real life. Between getting out of college and playing ball and then coaching and then working in radio and then all that kind of then started doing. I was trying to find a.
Okay.
I spent my 20s and between 21 and 33 just trying to find what that path was going to be.
Okay.
And then when I jumped on it, I had some good times in between, but
okay.
You know what I mean?
You had a little different experience.
Exactly.
Because I certainly struggled financially and otherwise in my 20s, but I just had the absolute time of my life. Right. But really, my 30s were even better.
Right.
I agree with that.
Even friggin' better.
So.
I thought, 30 and in your 30s was awesome.
I started gaining ground, man. I was feeling good. My kids were old. In my 20s, I had both my kids.
See, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, that does. I was just trying to make a living. I was trying to keep a nice place over my head.
You had the pressure of a family right away. Right. How old were you when your first child was born?
21.
God help us all.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, that's how my wife was.
That certainly will put a whole different paint job on
Maybe
things.
20.
You might have been 20?
You're not too sure.
I would be telling a different tale if I would have had a child at 20 years old.
Absolutely.
No question about it. Thank Christ I did not. All right, do you want to hear why people aren't looking forward to 20 add 25? Because it's really stupid.
Yeah.
Someone noticed something about the calendar for 2025.
Oh, no.
What?
Are there going to be numbers involved?
No.
Okay.
It's really stupid. Don't worry yourself at all.
It has to be. As soon as you say they know something weird about the calendar, I'm like, ah!
Someone noticed something weird about the calendar, the social media dorks, and they got cooking on this. The year starts on a Wednesday. So the first 3 days of the year are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And on a calendar where the days of the week are shortened to just an initial, that means the calendar starts with WTF.
See, I take that the opposite. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
That's encouraging.
What? Sweet.
Friggin' social media.
I would never even notice such a thing.
Never.
Because you're normal.
Is that why?
Normal people don't notice.
That's a nice thing to say.
You got to be just a conspiratorial type of person.
Yeah, that's
or very
that's
observant.
insane.
No, weird. Weird.
Now, someone else noted that the last time this happened, when a year began with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, otherwise known as WTF, the last time this happened was in 2020.
The year worked out well for me.
Was that a bad year?
What's significant there?
I don't remember.
That number means nothing to me. It's over, it's been passed, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. You're right. And there's been no repercussions.
None. I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Sorry,
Jesus, play the Malcolm in the Middle friggin' audio again.
I know, that's why that was my callback.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to you guys this morning.
We appreciate that. Who here suffers from cringe attacks?
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
Yeah, especially when I'm watching movies.
Why is it significant when you're... Well, maybe first I'll explain what a cringe attack is, because maybe some of you don't know. I can't say that I am too badly affected by cringe attacks. But this is being talked about now. Do you know what it means, C. Willie Miles?
Cringe?
Cringe attacks.
No.
Perfect. Then I'm going to tell you. You're sitting around doing not a damn thing, and then you have a random memory of something embarrassing, something stupid that you did years ago. Could have been a bad joke. Maybe you got shot down asking a foxy lady out on a date. You embarrassed yourself. You think back to these...
Oh, these are hypotheticals.
Well, no, things that happened in your life.
Yeah.
No, when he said that, got turned down by a foxy lady.
You've never been turned down.
You were turned down.
Yeah, you lost C. Willie on that one.
I was with you the whole way until you got shot down.
C. Willie
What do you mean turned down?
has the foxy ladies in the palm of his damn
Yes, he
hand.
does.
I married her.
That's right.
She did not turn me down.
So it's almost as if your mind is saying, this is the verbiage I have in front of me on the definition of a cringe attack. It's almost like your mind is saying, hey, remember this? Let's relive it together, and you have a cringe attack.
Right.
This is, well, it kind of fits with your personality, Josh, that you would be a victim or a sufferer of cringe attacks.
Oh, yeah. I would say probably 2-3 times a week. It's usually something involving this place.
That's it?
Or is it you're more?
Oh my gosh, I would say at least like 5 times a day.
Yeah, I'm with Ashley.
Oh my gosh, my head is constantly just trying to torture me. It's like, hey, remember that really insanely embarrassing thing you did?
Well, give us a good one. Give us a good one.
It would take me a second. I have to.
All right, Dana, do you have a good one? You say you have a lot of cringe attacks?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Ashley. I'm just trying to think of, because it's like pretty much everything I do. I'm like, oh God, it was so awkward.
Yeah, okay.
Ashley, what about falling down with bags of soup?
Okay, see, that doesn't make me cringe that bad.
Anybody can fall down.
But one, for example, it was Thanksgiving, and so I went over to my boyfriend's family's Thanksgiving, and I just feel like I talked too much, and every time I think about what I said and the words I said, even though it wasn't bad, I just cringe, and I have to like push it out of my head as fast as possible.
You didn't say anything necessarily offensive. You just thought you talked too much.
Yeah, and about stupid things like why did I say that? Why?
Oh yeah.
Why did I speak at all?
Okay, see, and this is great, and I hope we can all help each other out because Josh and Ashley, you need and Dana, you need to know that a lot of what you cringe about isn't cringe-worthy.
Boy, I don't know.
But your personality and the way you're wired, you would disagree with me.
I have like something out of the Matrix where I have a cringe attack about the time I explained what I do when I get a cringe attack. I've since changed that. And now if I'll explain, which is going to lead to a third one probably on my way home. I used to, for whatever reason, I don't even want to say it.
Here we go.
You have to.
Here we friggin' go.
Bring it. Feel better.
Set off a chain reaction of cringe attack for Josh here.
For whatever reason, and I know this is strange, when something would pop in my head, and I'd be just like my body had to react. I was so cringy that I would spell the word penis in sign language. I don't know why. To try and crack myself up or whatever.
All right, hang on a second. This needs repeating.
And I admitted that once on the air, and then I had a cringe attack that, why did I admit that? I don't have to share everything.
This does ring a bell. We love when you share everything because a lot of it is so interesting. So what you just said, and this does ring a bell. You're sitting at home. You have a cringe attack over something you said or did years ago.
And it's usually more recent than years, but sometimes years ago, yeah.
And in order to... The therapy that you developed in order to snap yourself out of it would be to spell penis in sign language?
That's correct.
Can you do that for me real quick? Yeah. N-I-S. Okay.
Yep, you got it.
And that would be like a reset button for you to hopefully move on.
Yeah. Either that or I'll swear at myself. That's more what I do now because after admitting that, I got so much crap that I thought, well, I'm going to change that up. I'm going to change that behavior.
And also,
I would have some deaf people looking at me like, what the hell's that guy doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
I swear, too.
You trying to get some action there, pal? What's going on?
What if they sign? What if they
go? No thanks.
Yeah, then I'm turned down. That's even worse.
Maybe someday someone will sign yes, please. See, Willie Miles, cringe attacks. Is that part of your makeup?
Not really.
No, me neither.
Nice.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done many regrettable things in my life. Many regrettable things. But I guess I'm just lucky, and C. Willie Miles must be wired the same way. It's just, I can move on. I can say to myself, it happens, or that's a long time ago. It's over. People forget. What I think would help Ashley and Dana and Wapple, Ashley, I'll get there. Who's on the show?
I'm Josh.
What would help Josh, Ashley, and Dana is to hear that people forget very easily.
I try to think about, like, if somebody was in my position. Like, I don't remember anything cringy that my friends do or that, like, my family members do. I don't really... Like, I don't remember them talking too much or them being awkward, so I try to tell myself that.
Outside of extraordinary moments.
Yes, exactly.
You easily forget about your friends and family members' cringy moments, so they do the same for you. Dana, can you think of, you say this happens to you all day, every day, and it fits your personality. Can you think of one that especially haunts you?
Not one that especially haunts me because it just happens so often, and I'm like Josh, too, where I don't spell penis with sign language when I have one of these.
Nor do I anymore.
Okay, proud of you. Hopefully I can stamp this too. But
what do you do, draw one on a wall or something?
I just take mine out, actually.
You take it out.
Like a
take it out and hit it.
Why spell it when I can see it?
No, I audibly say the word ouch when I think of something cringy.
You do.
To the point where my fiance, she like, or anyone around me, like, what's wrong? Did you step on something? And then it makes it even more awkward, like Josh, because I have to explain, no, I just thought of, the time I got pantsed in front of Cassie in 7th grade, and that just makes it even more weird.
Well, anybody would cringe at the thought of that. It's the little things that I hope you folks can somehow move beyond.
I know.
This isn't going to help right here, Josh. I'll try anything 4 times Jesus. Just text it in. And he wants to pass this message to Josh and Ashley and Dana. He says, don't listen to Nick and C. Willie Miles. We don't forget these things.
Oh, I know.
Stop.
I was going to mention.
Shut up.
If anyone checks our text messages, you know people don't forget certain things. That's for sure.
Well, what are they saying on the text message?
I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Like one time, this is not. I thought it was cringe for her, not for me, because I said it to be funny, because I'm when I'm golfing, I'm generally having a blast.
Yeah.
And this young lady pulled up on a cart, the cart girl.
Yeah.
And always, it's me asking for salted nuts. Like I want salted nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her, and I golf at this golf course all the time, but I didn't know this particular cart girl. And she pulled up, and I was like, "Whoa, where have you been?" I said, "The word on the street is that you have the best nuts in Phoenix."
In all of Phoenix.
And I go, that did not come out the way
that you wanted to.
Right. I mean, I'm talking peanuts, right? And then it was, it went. I could see the look on her face.
Do you remember to this day the look on her face?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then what made it even worse is that after I got the nuts from her, and then and I wound up feeling so bad, I tipped her $50. Well, I gave her money then it just looked like I was cringed by what I did. And I wasn't. I just meant it to be funny. And then when she came back by, she goes, "Need some more nuts?"
Oh, no.
She said, "I do have the best nuts."
Everyone finds themselves.
Do you guys suffer from secondhand embarrassment, or you?
Yeah.
No,
that I do.
So that's what I thought we were talking about at first, and that's what I meant when I get that the most when I'm watching movies.
Yeah,
Because I'll have to cover my eyes like a little kid watching a scary movie.
That's hilarious. My son, so he's 13. He does that. If it like a Ben Stiller movie or something, where too many cringy things are happening, he will cover his face, and he just can't handle it. He's so embarrassed.
Very
It's
interesting.
so bad, especially like an awkward kiss. Oh no.
Secondhand cringing is also a thing. Okay. Well, there's probably nothing that I could say to you or C. Willie Miles could say to you that you haven't already said to yourself on the topic of all this cringing going on, but just try to take it easier on yourself.
All right, let it go.
That's never going to work, Josh, is it? Just
I probably will.
Does it help at all to hear that out loud? Just take it easier.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I listen to what you have to say.
I know you do.
Sometimes you forget. You'll say, "Well, why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Well, you told me to," and you forget that you told me to.
Well, yeah, I'm a forgetful person.
Right.
Oh, now I'm cringing.
It happened this morning. Like, "Oh, why would you do that?" Like, "Well, you told me to do that." Like, "Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I?"
If you want a guy to cringe, it's Cubby. If you want a guy to forget an entire conversation,
I'll cringe for you. I'll
it's
offer
likely going to be
a free cringe service, so you don't have to go through that.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nobody likes a know-it-all who sits around talking about their genitalia.
On 93X.
All right, we got to go. And this is rare because I don't want to.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, usually you don't even want to start.
I don't want to start. And then I desperately want to stop as soon as we start.
Yeah.
Not today. It's because of our guest this morning.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
World-class entertainer, C. Willie Miles.
Thanks, man.
You got shows coming up. People text in. They want to know about your shows.
Yes, I am. I'm going to be doing my holiday Christmas show at Crooners on the 28th of December. We just did that, and they called me up and asked me if I would be interested in doing a holiday show, and I'm like, yeah. I did my Home for the Holidays show 2 years ago there, and they really loved it, and I like doing that show. I usually do it in Prior Lake, but I didn't this year, and then I decided I generally don't work between the 21st of December and the 6th of January. I usually take that whole time off just for holiday, family, travel, whatever.
College football.
And so I'm doing, 20.
They watch a lot of college football.
So the 28th, I'm going to be there. 6:30 show. It's going to be a great show.
Cool, man.
28th, you said?
The 28th of December. It's
Okay.
a Saturday.
Special holiday Christmas See Willie Miles program.
It's
at
what's
Crooner.
called Home for the Holidays, but then they said someone else has that name. And I'm like, well, then just take it away because it's mine. I've already had
Easy
presidents.
solution.
Yeah.
Do
It's called A Holiday Comedy Show now.
Do you wear a special outfit for your
Yes, I
holiday?
do.
You do.
Man. I jazz up. I jazz it up a little bit with a little red. You know.
Yeah.
Christmas
a little
sweater?
Christmassy. Not a Christmas sweater.
No, thank God you don't. I'm glad you don't do that bit.
Yeah, I got the cool suits. I got
All
the
right.
shiny
Oh,
suit
sweet.
with the sweet satin tie and the sweet red satin little, what do you call this thing you stick?
Oh, pocket square?
I bet you look hot.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I bet
sexy.
you look hot.
Pretty sexy on stage.
Do you buy tickets yet?
Can I?
Well, you don't need to.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
your show.
yeah. Tickets are on sale right now. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
absolutely. You can go to my website. Just go to my name. Just see Willie Miles. Just Google that.
All right.
And all of that comes up, everything.
Well, sounds like it'd be a riot. I mean, especially.
It's a great show. I talk about just family. I talk about how, sad gifts that you get.
Sure.
I talk about my beef with Santa.
Oh, I didn't know you had one.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
wow.
That dude.
For how many years have the two of you not seen eye to eye, you and Santa
Since
Claus?
I was 4.
Since you were 4.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing beef. Some of us are old enough to remember when Santa used to come on TV and read off names of the kids, you know?
Yeah.
And you
did?
sat there and he would read all the names.
And
I knew
what
the
they
kids
wanted
from-
for Christmas.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I knew the kids from my neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know? And then, he never said Willie.
No.
He never said
so
Willie.
sorry.
I was like, how do you not? That's a common name down south.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Willie Earl.
Vernon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never would say, he would say Billy.
I'm so sorry.
And I'm like, I believe Santa was racist.
Would it? Oh my God.
Because, that is he would say Billy, he would say Bill, and,
But not Willie.
yeah, Wiley. And I'm like, okay, Willie's got to be next.
That is one hell of a
And
statement
he
to
said
make.
William. He never said little William. I'm like, what about me? Every year I did that. And I was
We've
like,
never closed a show with such a controversial statement
That's
before.
awesome. Yeah, if we go to a Christmas parade, I'm just going to nudge my son and go, yeah, see the guy in the beard there? He's a racist. We don't talk to that guy.
Right. My friend said so. I mean, how do you not say Willie? Of all those years, you know what I mean? And that's
I'm with you.
stuck with me all the way through. I'm just like, you know what, dude? If I ever see you, I mean, I remember nights when we had this one house that had a chimney. I sat there all night. My dad told me, you got to go to bed, and he ain't coming.
You sat there waiting on his ass.
Yeah.
So you could yell, racist!
Right.
As he was on his way
No,
down.
I just wanted. I would have been the first one to say that, and that was back in the '60s. I would say my name. Say my name. You say my name right now.
Man, you're cold-blooded.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
No, just-
if there's kids listening, that is not. I was upset. It's not really who I am.
As Josh would say, you said some things, I said some things.
You will do better.
Well, I will do.
You're going to treatment.
I'm in therapy right now to get some of this taken care of. But most people, if you know me, you know that's not who I am.
Okay. All right. We do know you. We know you very well. We always enjoy you stopping by. You look wonderful. We'll
You
see
really
you.
do.
Whenever
Thanks,
you
man.
call,
Appreciate
the door's always open for C. Willie.
All right, man. I appreciate
You
that.
bet.
Before we go, congratulations to medical chicken lady. She's just passed her entrance exam into college. Nice work. Happy belated 44th to P-Man from Angie, Mackenzie, and Piper.
The 93X half-ass morning show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.